Welcome to Giants Stadium. It's the final game of NEAFL's round 14. The fourth place Giants up against the undefeated Brisbane Lions. I'm Eddie Summerfield, joined in commentary this afternoon by Will Jackson. Will, how are you this afternoon? Perfect day for footy here in Western Sydney.
Absolutely fantastic. Woke up very foggy and cold this morning, but the sun's come out and the players have come out too. This one should be an absolute ripper. We know how strong the Lions are, and the Giants are going to put up a bit of a fight on their home turf.
We've got Leon behind the camera again, thanks to Bar TV, live on our YouTube channel, NEAFL TV, and on Facebook. Don't forget, you can give us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're looking forward to having a look play today, and who do you think is going to win. Late change for the Giants. James Pope listed at 41. He's not playing, and Isaac Bartholomaeus comes in to the side there. Lions are as selected on Thursday night. Really excited to have a look at Adam Dunkley today for the Giants, making his debut. Been playing for University of New South Wales Eastern Suburbs in the Sydney footy competition. So big weekend for the Dunkley family, Will.
Very big weekend for the Dunkley family. I know his cousin Kyle Dunkley is debuting in the AFL for the Melbourne Demons today. And his other cousin, Josh Dunkley, 27 disposals, 9 tackles in an upset win for the Dogs against Geelong. So big weekend for the Dunkley family, and perhaps that big weekend can continue here today at Giants Stadium.
Now, from a selfish perspective, I was nervous on Thursday night when the teams came out. It was really good to see that Ian Bobby Hill named on the bench for the Giants at AFL level to make his debut after kicking the match winner last Friday night against the Students. But sadly for Bobby, but gratefully for you and I here on NEAFL TV and everyone watching this afternoon, Bobby is in the NEAFL. He's playing this afternoon, not quite the debut, so looking forward to seeing how he goes today. Toss of the coin has happened, and the Brisbane Lions will be kicking to the right-hand side of your NEAFL TV. No Dawson Simpson for the Giants today, Will?
No Dawson Simpson. We see Connor Iden starting in the ruck according to the list, but Matty Flynn's on the bench, and where that's been swapped off right before game time, it has in fact. Matty Flynn is out there, so a little bit of a different tactic, perhaps a bit of gamesmanship there from the Giants, but it should be a good little hit out from him today.
Is round 14 of the NEAFL. Umpires today, Matt Bajan, Dean Garraway and David Newell has ball in hand to get this game underway. Can we see the Giants pull off one of the upsets of the season? It's certainly been the round for that in the NEAFL. A draw yesterday between Canberra and Sydney Uni, and of course Southport going down yesterday to Aspley. Here's Will Jackson to get play underway here at Giants Stadium. It is the Giants to the right-hand side of your NEAFL TV.
The ball's drilled into the turf and it's perfectly up in the air. One down there by Flynn, very nicely before it's hammered away by Joyce. First inside 50 of the game, mark not taken. Very fast turnover and played out back towards Flynn over the top of Joyce. So great start, quick bit of running. Bobby Hill gives a handball, unfortunately, to Archie Smith. Gets a bit blinded in the sun there. Thrashing about on the ground there was Peatling before regathered there from Joyce. Bastanak, chance to reset now. Gives it off to Keys. Always such a cool user. Lions under a little bit of trouble here before it's sent long by left foot. Smith's underneath it. Spoiled away. Fair bit of frantic play immediately off here. Caldwell getting involved. Smith once again. What can they do? A clearance is made, but it's turned over into the hands of the Lions.
So Lions at half back. It's in hands of Brandon Starcevic. Just has a look forward, trying to regain his spot in the senior side. Kick going across to Mitch Hinge, who's really been a good player in defence for the Lions this year. He goes up the ground, beautiful kick. Tom Joyce has it in hand, moves the footy quickly out to Eagles. Eagles inboard, ripping kick as well, so they're just moving it nice and slowly here, the Lions. Just slowing things down, waiting to find the right opportunity forward. Taylor's short again. Now they go inside 50. Good kick. It was looking for Wooler. Couldn't find it. He eventually got it off the bounce. Handballed it backwards from outside 50 to the hotspot. Who wants to mark it? Good use of the body. Smith fell in his hands. Then it came back out. Ducking, weaving. Good tackling pressure there for the Giants holding the ball. Really good work from the Giants defence, and they'll have a chance to get it out of there.
Exceptional pressure. I think Mitch Hinge thought he was going to have a chance at goal there, but just didn't quite work for him. So instead it's sent long towards the flank, and underneath that, there's a bit of a thrash about. So, Lions, another moment here. Centering ball. Cedric Cox falls short of him, but he's just got so much pace. Creates a bit of space for himself. Manages to kick the first goal of the game. Sensational from Cedric Cox. Just got it and wheeled and found himself in space created.
Pretty disappointing there for the Giants from the kick in. Just kind of blazed away to try and clear the full back zone, and Cedric Cox, as a result of that, when the footy was turned over, he was in a mountain of space, as you said, Will, and had plenty of time to line them up for the first goal of the day.
He's so quick to just line up and load, isn't he? He knows exactly where the goals are and often knows exactly where his teammates are. So it'll be good to watch him again today. So frantic in other weeks.
Interesting, the amount of AFL listed players today for both sides. I think there's 21 playing for the Lions versus 11 for the Giants. So they'll be up against it today, GWS. Coming into this game in 4th position on the table, 7-4 record. So we wait for play to get back underway in the middle. Be Flynn and Smith. Ball went the way of Flynn. It was a good tap down. Bonner was there, overran it. Giants kept pressing. Shipley held with it, and umpire Dean Garraway says, give it to me, let's toss it up again.
Really good start. It'll be fantastic to see how this ruck battle unfolds. Matt Flynn's such a big dominant presence, but Archie Smith's no small fella, and he's got quite a leap on him.
Well, Flynn, another man pressing for senior AFL selection. He won this one down. Well picked up there by Keys. Flicked a handball over the top. He's Jimmy the Jet Peatling, driven into the turf, copped one high. Back in the team this week after playing for the Allies in the under-18 competition over the past week or so. Kick out wide's a good one, and it lands in the hands of Harry Grant. So Grant has a look up. There's a plenty of Lions in front of him. Eventually just goes long to a contest. They'll come from behind the Giants, tap down the throat of Allison, wrapped up in a tackle instantaneously. Ball just bobbing around there. There's Kieran Briggs on top. And we'll have a ball up. Giants in attack, trailing this one by 6 points. Early stage of this first quarter, Will.
Early stages. Good to see Briggs getting involved. We saw him take a screamer here a few weeks ago against Southport. Says clearance is made, and Mark a little bit slippery out there despite the dry conditions. So a bit of a run and go through the guts there. Louis Taylor screaming for the ball, and he's got a bit of space here, and we know about his leg speed. He sends just a short option there, nice and simple, into the hands of Wooler. And Wooler does have a look up, but decides, you know what? I'd say this is in reach for me.
He's kicked 18 goals, 9 this season. Real dangerous midfield, and then when he goes forward, clean hands as we saw there.
He's a very, very good marker. There we go. He just chips over the top ever so delicately. Instead, lining up for a shot goal will be Jacob Allison. So it'll be interesting to see what he makes of this. As he sits and lines up. I mean, pretty smart play from Wooler there. Just slowed things down, had a look up, and all of a sudden left in acres of space. So as he begins his run in, can they get a second and just get on the perfect start here this afternoon? It's faded away to the left-hand side of the goals, unfortunately. So they're going to have to turn around and go again. But still, promising signs early on if you're on the supporting side of the Lions.
So it'll be Jake Steen to bring the footy back in. Made his AFL debut a couple of weeks ago down in Tasmania against North Melbourne, and back in the NEAFL straight away. Bobby Hill fires from behind. Couldn't quite mark. The Lions waiting out the back. Short kick's a good one. Just love seeing Ian Hill go for a big fly as it came out to McFadgen to the corner. Ball came down. Buntine from behind. Handball back inboard. Bit of a hit and hope. Iden around the body. Flynn will need to fly. Ball spills out the back. Bonner was there. Lions with numbers though around the fall of it. Could have copped one high, the Lions player, and he certainly did, and that's Reece Matheson. He's a real excitement machine to watch. He'll just chip it up to the top of the goal square. Beautiful hit up and mark. It's crumbed off hands by Buntine. Just looking to clear the zone, the captain this afternoon for the Giants. Booming kick towards the boundary line. How the umpires see this one, deliberate. So perhaps a bit stiff there, Buntine, just clearing the zone, but them the rules. Kick came across to Keaton Coleman. Goes inboard, wobbly sort of a kick. Brown came charging through, flicked the handball off to Shipley. Went back by hand. That's a bit of a hospital hand pass. Turnover, holding the footy or a throw, take your pick. And the Lions will have a set shot under the shadow of the light tower here at Giants Stadium. It'll be Ryan Bastanak.
They seem to have a lot of time and space at the moment, Lions, and Giants, as we've seen the past few weeks, have been exceptional in their defensive structures, but so far, just in the opening, just struggling to get back and reset.
So he won the best and fairest for the Lions, a joint winner last year in the NEAFL. Bastanak comes in on the rookie list this year. Beautiful kick, and it's a major. So the Lions have the first two. dream start really for Brisbane, and what you'd really expect from a top-of-the-table side. And don't forget, wherever you're watching on NEAFL TV, let us know where you are. Cameron Middleton, he is with a bintang in hand at the moment, Will, at a hotel in Cooter in Bali. A couple of Giants fans as well, Lions as well. Jeez, that sounds very welcoming. A bintang here at Giant Stadium this afternoon will also be quite nice because it is a perfect day for footy.
Cracking day to be in the sun enjoying it. And we know he is over there in Bali on a cracking holiday. But has not wavered his attention from his support of the NEAFL, which we do love to see. So let's see if the Giants can turn this and swing it back their way. They've certainly got their measure in the midfield contest. They need to get a bit of go forward. So that's one down by Smith, and charging through the middle there was Joyce. Played forward, just inside 50 there. Spilt it from the chest. Shipley and Caldwell try and regather. And it's just a slap over. Yeah, we saw a knee could have been brewing there for Belbasis, but he'll be okay. More than okay. He's the first one to get up. So it'll be great to see how they respond at this point. They haven't had much clean balls so far. It's been a lot of turnover to the Lions. And speaking of, there it goes again. Shipley managed to get a quick one off to Caldwell before it just bounces off the chest. Chance for a little bit of run and go there. Squire put it forward. Matty Eagles under it. So much pressure, but here we go. It's going to be a clear run home. Nick Murray puts on the dribbler. Bobby Hill style. Someone may need to finish it off, but no, they do not. Wonderful style of finish. Staying the way they ended the last match with a cracking bending dribbler. And Lions have managed to get the perfect response by way of a major.
It was a perfect set-up and play, wasn't it, from the Giants? And I think it's how they're going to need to score their goals today. Just quick movement inside 50 over the top, because they are missing their big target. Zach Sproul, of course, he's one of the leading goal kickers at NEAFL level. He's still out injured, and we'll see Kieran Briggs down there today. He's kicked a couple of bags, but haven't seen him really take control of a game yet at this level. So they'll need those fast-running plays, and guys like Bobby Hill, as you alluded to there, Bonner and Shipley pushing forward, Peatling as well.
It was a great little finish there from Nick Murray, though. He's typically known for his aerial aggression and courage, but and his strength overhead, but shows he can do it at the ground level as well.
So ball back in the middle, 7-point ball game at the moment. Flynn will get the centre clearance, just grabbed it out of the ruck. Bouncing ball, good use of the body by the Lions defender, flicked the handball straight off. It'll come out the way of Keys, tripped over his own shadow, then put it on his boot, a wobbler to half forward, and it's cut off. Good mark taken by the Giants. Chance to continue pressing forward. Short one's a ripper, and the mark is taken there by Harry Grant. He's had a bit of it early. He'll just chip it in, board, ripping kick, Bonner. It was touched, wrapped up in a tackle. Umpire will call for it, and we'll have a bounce. Smart play there from Harry Grant. Quick use again.
Very quick use, exactly like you said, the way they may have to play out the remainder of this game. So it's put up pretty high there, and a couple of Giants fellas just left it behind. Bonner gives a quick one off to Shipley. He had a chance to go for goal there. Instead, it's right into the space in between a couple of Lions players. It's a great result for the Giants, though. Two Lions players there could have marked it out, but instead, they get themselves an attacking ball in. Maybe
rushed it a little bit there, Nick Shipley, when the handball came out to him. Had a little bit more time. Probably still a little bit too far out to have a shot. So, as you mentioned, not a bad result. So, Briggs will be doing the ruck work here against Smith. Came out the back through hands. Pressure came from Bonner and Hill. And really good tackling pressure there from the Giants. And it will be tossed up. 20 out from their goal mouth.
See, they're starting to get up and about here. They're a little bit hungry. Smith did a really good job. It's up and down. It's a really quick fire away from the electric man, Bobby Hill. Unfortunately, it fades away to the right-hand side. Gee, that would have been quick and effective. Being the theme of the Giants' strategy so far in this quarter.
He's kicked the third most behinds in the competition, Bobby Hill. So something he would really want to work towards is his accuracy this year.
Yeah, I think last week he was about five behinds. But hey, the second goal was the most important one. Sebastianak fires it long. It's a terrific mark from Matthew Flynn.
12 goals, 18 for the season coming into today's game, Hill.
He's having an exceptional season. He's an entertainment machine. Matty Hill sends it pretty long, aiming towards the goal square. Who would have known who the target is? Bit of a chance here to play forward and go. Bobby Hill there, just trying to be a nuisance. Squire puts a chipper over the top. Harry Grant pulls it forward. Jimmy the Jet, chance to unload here. Can he bend it enough? No, he won't that time, James Peatling. But really promising attacking signs here from the Giants.
Got to make the most of your opportunities against a team that's undefeated after 13 rounds, so they'll be disappointed by these couple of entries. The Giants, as Eagles got a handball out wide, and they'll clear defence pretty easily. The Lions kick out towards Cox, brushes one tackle, but the second one he's seen over the line. Umpire circles and says, let's throw it in. Good tackling work there from the Giants.
Exceptional tackle from Belbasis, the ex-Sydney Uni student. Especially on the guy like Cedric Cox, who can really has a habit of getting away from you.
Tossed in again. Flynn from behind. Won the tap down, looking for Bonner. Went without him. Could have been in the back. Umpire said play on. Ducking and weaving there was Brucey Revel. Handball came out the back to Smith. Knows this ground pretty well. Bouncing ball to half forward. Out the back, Connor Iden for the Giants is there. Flicks a handball out looking for Buntine. It was tapped down though. Chance here for the Lions. Bit of a dribbler towards goal and misses across the face for a behind.
A few pretty cool dribblers coming out. Bit of audacity from the two sides.
You'd like to see him perhaps straighten up and just kick a drop punt, considering they go straight.
Hope so.
Not rely on the bounce of the oval-shaped ball.
Maybe that was the difference for Bobby Hill. Did so well last week. Maybe if he'd gone the drop punt, he would have seen himself at AFL level this week. But instead he's here trying to tear up in the NEAFL. So Briggs just gets pushed aside pretty delicately by the captain, Josh Walker. And that's unlike Kieran Briggs. He usually loves to attack that footy. So Walker, being screamed at by a few teammates, sends it long, about 20 out from the goal square. Pucked around and going, James Peatling will clear it away. Eagles, another good little competition here, but it's going to run out the back of them. Eagles with a chance here to get himself out of trouble. Bit of a mismatch height-wise, struggling around the ground. Who can gather? Louis Taylor gathers. Plays out the back to his captain, Walker, but it's picked off. And a bit of inside run here, Bonner usually gets himself out of trouble. That one's not going to be too effective. So much tackling pressure. Joyce gets his head over the ball. But there's just so many Lions. There's an absolute pride of them hunting this Keys. Such a cool user of the football. Eagles lets it spill. Someone just says, forget this, and tries to soccer it away out of trouble, but trouble is still coming for them. Bit of a burst of speed. Callum Brown uses his full 15, takes a bounce and drops one inside. So here's a bit of a chance for the Lions here. One-on-one, Eagles is around, trying to lurk and cover. Bobby Hill, there he is, spins away from Eagles, but then gets ragdolled in the tackle. There's still a chance here as the clearance is put inside. Is it perfectly on the chest of? No, it bounces down. Frantic and still going are these two sides. Gladiators at battle, trying to fit their way out and slow things down. Can he hit his target? Well, if anything else is to go by, of course he hasn't. So away they go again before Matheson's pants are pulled down. That dribbles towards the boundary line. And out of bounds, Berry gets over the top of Peatling. What a passage of play. Now let's hope that stays for the remainder of the match, because we'll be in for a cracker if it does.
How good was the Irishman, Callum Brown, off half back there? His run, I thought he was going to get caught, but he has got some pace about him, that young man, and I loved his willingness to take the game on and attempt to bounce the ball. It was very nice as this fake siren sounds, because only 15 minutes has gone in this first quarter, and it will be tossed up right on the wing.
Very confusing stuff there.
The spectators were a bit more confused than the players there, because they just kept going, cool as a cucumber. Flynn wins this one down, bobbling away. Bonner really good in this first quarter, taken to ground by Lions. The crowd beginning to build for what should be a cracking game in the AFL this afternoon as well between these two clubs. Ball came down, Dunkley charging through, handball looking for Jimmy the Jet, couldn't find him. Lions lurking, Brown there through traffic, head Dunkley over it, very good Dunkley. So footy came to half forward, pushed into it in the end. Handball came out wide, Giants with numbers here, Addison. Look at his cool, calm and collection. Addison just weaving around, looking for the right option. Handball risky. Just got a kick there. Edwards, umpire called play on. Tackling pressure good. Ball will come out to Smith. Goes back inboard. Caldwell, great pressure there, the Bendigo product, and it will be tossed in half forward flank for the Giants.
So we've probably moved down the field about 25 metres, but the play was going for a very extensive amount of time. This is really frantic arm wrestling stuff for the two midfielders. We've got nice dry conditions out there after a wet morning, so it should be nice and spongy on the foot. Smith gets in the way of that one before Joyce taps it down. Free kick's going to be called back, though, and Peatling's still applying pressure, but it'll be brought back. So what can they do here? Tom Joyce, he's got a great mullet on him, that man. Goes into the chest of Bastanak. He'll just chip it over to Matheson. So Matheson trying to scan the option. It's pretty congested, so he'll just decide to go backwards by foot. Bastanak continues this backtracking manoeuvre. Matty Eagles just ever so delicately pushing around. Everyone wanting to get their hands on the pill. Hinge goes out wide. Chance for an inside 50, and inside 50 it goes. Top over, big jumping back from the Giants. Callum Brown again make himself be felt. So a little bit of space here. Smith could have ran the trouble there, but it's done well to clear that away, did Stein. But there's a chance for Hinge to reset again.
So he goes inboard, back to where it came out, the back. Briggs was there, picked it up eventually, underground handball, went straight into Bastanak, out to Smith. Smith from 15 out, drop punt goal. Really, really interesting goal there from the Lions. They were looking for the boundary line there, Kieran Briggs, the old underground handball, and eventually it just bobbled into the hands of Smith, who just said, you know what, I can kick a goal and take us out to a 12-point lead.
Was it interesting is probably the best way to describe that. It was, once again, it's just very turbulent out there right now, and it's really going to come down to the bit of razzle-dazzle from either side to just pick apart.
It was a bit like when you're playing a pinball machine there. The ball just bobbled up and you've got the right flipper going. Suddenly it's in the left and you go bang straight up the guts and get a 100-pointer. Now, Eddie, that doesn't have anything to do with the new pinball machine at your work, does it? It might do. Haven't been that productive over the past 7 days. So footy back in the middle of the ground. 12-point lead to the Lions. Hopefully you're enjoying this one. Wherever you're watching on NEAFL TV, Cam's enjoying a bintang in Bali at the moment. Let us know where you're watching from, who you think's going to win. Who've been your better players for this first quarter as Briggs goes up against Smith. Briggs won that one down, but the Lions will get the clearance. Long kick up to half forward. Beautiful hit up and mark. So they'll just slow things down. Madden looking for the right target. Beautiful kick, and it is taken very nicely by Cedric Cox. He'll go short to the pocket. And that's just a bit of Chinese checkers work from the Lions, just chipping it over the top of the Giants' defenders, and they'll have a shot at goal here through Reece Matheson. It started with Tom Joyce, who's making his way off the ground. He's been terrific out the middle, just popping out, screamed away with that ball and put into the path of his own man. So Matheson begins his approach. Loves kicking a sausage. Drop punt on the way, doesn't move. The Lions have kicked the last two. Just a tame kind of celebration there, Will, from Reece Matheson. Bit of business as usual kind of work, and it was a beautiful strike of the footy, wasn't it? Beautiful left to right correction. We always like to see that, and sailed virtually through the middle. So excellent start here. Good quarter slowly being put together. That goal there had a bit more structure than the other ones we've seen, as you said, the Chinese checkers. So a bit worried about the Giants playing such a strong Lions team that as we tick into time on in this first quarter, can they stay with what is effectively a team completely full of professionals? Real test for the Giants the next 10 minutes or so. That's it. As the game goes on, endurance starts to waver and the skills start to slacken. Ball's been put away and out the back goes Lions. So Lions under that Sam Skinner. But it's a good little punch away by Jake Stein. And it's going to be seen out of bounds. Louis Taylor doesn't bother with that one. Says let the big fellas handle that one in the middle. It will be interesting to see how this game unfolds and whether the Giants can get that spark, which they so often have when they get going. I really like this from the Giants coach. He's given Kieran Briggs plenty of minutes in the ruck this afternoon with big Dawson Simpson missing. As Briggs won that one down, and it will be tossed up. Chance to really develop a strong rivalry with Archie Smith, who, as we know in the NEAFL, real dominant kind of ruckman and performer right around the ground. Ruckman do battle again. Briggs won that one down looking for Bonner. Handball came out the way of the Lions. It's cut off though by Steen. Didn't travel the 15, or did it? Ooh. It did travel the 15. You'd almost give 50 for the big driving tackle, and I think 50 has been paid for said driving tackle. So apologies there. I think it's Adam Dunkley in possession of it who took that mark off a 10-metre kick, and he'll go to the wing. Chance to drive the Giants forward again. See Dylan Addison down there for the Giants, just trying to set things up, get a few structures in place. Dunkley goes Addison's direction now. Over the top, Lions with numbers. Ball bobbles out the back. Kicking around the body there was Payne to half back, and the Lions just slow things down. Short little chipper come of McFadden up the ground. And another fake siren, the faux siren here at Giant Stadium this afternoon. Kick to half forward. Punch from Steen again, bobbling out the back. Good pick up as it went out of Steen's hands again. Ball spills free. Chance for the Lions inside 50. Smith in front of Briggs. Marks on the second effort. Called to go back on his line, Archie Smith. Really like how he goes forward, Will, as a marking option. He's a tall unit, coming in at 202 centimetres. And Kieran Briggs probably just wrong-footed there in that marking contest not to be able to spoil it away. So to make it 3 in a row for the Lions, a bit of a stutter from Smith. Got close to the man on the mark, doesn't matter. Goal umpire doesn't move. And the Lions begin to kick away.
2 goals in the corner there for Archie Smith. That one a little more...
conventional.
Traditional, yes, than the first. He's done well, as you see. He's just got those big, long levers, and Kieran Briggs was just helpless. And as soon as Smith stuck his arms out to receive the ball, I mean, there's nothing you can do. You can't get in the way of it.
Well, Kieran Briggs, he's no slouch either at 199 centimetres tall.
I'd like to see him, get moved around the ground and start going for those big marks that he's so capable of taking. At the very least, just disrupting the pack and the contest there, and give the effective crummers of the Giants a chance to create something out of nothing.
Second round draft pick, I think, last year for the Giants, Kieran Briggs, coming up through the academy, of course, from Pennant Hills. We love him here on NEAFL TV. Former checkout chick, of course, as it's tossed up again. Comes out to Caldwell. Overran it, though, so the Lions, they'll just get a pretty simple one through midfield. That was my man, Tom Berry, to the top of the goal square. Bouncing ball, Wooler, out of play. That will be tossed in.
Great result for the Lions. Your man Tom Berry, haven't seen too much of him so far, but
he usually just comes alive in the premiership quarter. We saw him have about 15 touches in that third quarter a couple of weeks ago when they absolutely pantsed Sydney Uni at the Bisp.
I thought we weren't allowed to talk about that result, and
that's its only mention for the day.
The ball comes in and tapped away down by the Giants, but still a bit of frantic stuff in the middle, as we've seen for most of this quarter. Put away. Bit of a moment here, and that's really well done by Callum Brown. Quick one, Caldwell under pressure. Enormous pressure. Harry Grant was there, and Hinge tries to get out quickly. Berry, Eddie's man, pretty unconventional from Berry. He's usually a lot cleaner than that. But gee, there he is again, making up for his effort.
Very good, wasn't it?
Oh, there goes that one again. The cleverest pun in the NEAFL. Extraordinary stuff from you there, Eddie. So tapped up and down it goes. One out by Smith, and Shipley comes sliding in, but Keys gets the clearance away across his body. Really high. Good luck marking that. And the luck does not fall. Not even with a few of the Irishmen around on the ground.
Is it either back there or too high? I think it is. He could have got in trouble for diving on it there, Lockie Squire. He's put a really good body of work together past couple of weeks in the NEAFL. Short kick is really good, finds Connor Iden.
Lost his headband there for a moment, Lockie Squire.
Gee, so he's lucky if he'll be able to see the ball. So I think Connor Iden's acknowledged that, and he'll go long and ignore him. 2 Lions, big fly from behind. Probably should have left it there, Tom Joyce at ground level. Bobby Hill was lurking, but the Lions, they've got numbers. Mitch Hinge, don't argue. Kick was smothered, came out the way of the Giants. High up and under kick, big fly, and Eagles takes a pretty uncontested kind of marking bag style mark. Runs into Addison, shrugs him off, did Eagles. A wobbler to half forward, the former Reality Stars, a good one. And it's marked there by Smith. So Eli Smith, 60 out, too far to score. Goes out wide. Brown underneath it, marks really strongly for the Lions.
Really want
for
to
the Giants.
Would love to see Callum Brown take off once again. He's just such a fantastic athlete around the paddock.
Real line breaker, isn't he?
Absolutely exceptional. 50 metres. We'll take that one back. So we will get to see him run, but I don't think he's going to go full pelt.
And really breaking the line here with this 50-metre penalty.
Absolutely just tearing them apart. He just marched himself. The man from County Derry in Ireland. Enjoyed watching him develop over his 12-month trial. So it's going to go back to him. And he's got a decision to make here. He's got Jake Stein on the flank, but he's being stalked pretty effectively. So what can Callum Brown and the Giants do here? We're ticked over 26.5 minutes for this quarter. Wobbly looking kick, and it's just ineffective into the hands of Eli Smith. So Smith will go laterally towards Bastanak. And giving chase there will be Squire. Plenty of work to do, but plenty of support coming from the Lions. Hinge, left foot, lovely kick falls short, but bounces very nicely to Wooler, who goes an inside to Skinner. Skinner just doffs it up nicely. Chance to crumb there with Berry, but instead it's just been tipped forward. Starcevic. Oh, you can shrug one, but you can't shrug two. Well, the umps say they'll just say no problem, no prior, and we'll do a ball in.
How good's Jai Caldwell's tackling pressure been in this first quarter? He's won a bit of his own ball as well, but when he hasn't won it, he's been the first man to wrap up whichever Lion did get the ball. So tossed in, half forward flank for the Lions. Not a breath of wind here at Giant Stadium. Skinner used his body nicely. The Giants, though, breaking the lines. Long kick upward, bounced out at the back there. Conlon couldn't mark. Lines with numbers. Here's Nathan Eagles just running across half-back. Beautiful kick up and mark. Taken there by Allison. Allison wants to go quickly. Goes to the running Corey Lyons on centre wing. Goes to half-forward. Bit of a wobbly, indecisive kick. He had two Lions and split the middle, and it will be tossed in.
It's a shame. They really had some options going there and a lot of run forward. The Giants are being let off the hook on that one. The Eagles did well to peel away from...
Very good.
Yeah, just outside the 50.
He's enjoying a bit of space across half-back, isn't he, this afternoon? Not the first time we've seen Matty Eagles go for a run.
Enjoying the show of athleticism from some of these players. The Lions have plenty of impressive combine stats. I know Eli Smith, who's in the team, has got the highest vertical jump from the 2018 draft. Get up 77 centimetres.
Former Giants Academy player, I think you'll find as well, from Wodonga, from memory.
I think you'd be right.
Yarrawonga, down the road.
It's a bit of a verbal miscommunication. Ball's tossed up and no clean win down before it's... Well, I think the ump's just going to call that was out before it was kicked. A little bit of a mismatch in the chat there. The umpire's doing a good job to just let the game flow, as they do so every week. And he's saying before the game these are his three favourite umpires out on the ground.
Happy to put that on the record too. They're very good, these three.
So nice and cleanly. It's spilt out from Caldwell, who did try and clean up his mess defensively. But instead it's just going to be picked up nicely here. Bruce Revel gives one over the top, and the chance of shooting for goal here. It's going to fade away to the left-hand side. No, it hasn't. It's actually gone straight through the middle. It's absolutely stunning from...
It was Reece Matheson.
It was Reece Matheson.
Through.
And the goal has been paid. Wasn't sure there. We saw the umpires clear away to the side, looking like it was angling away, but the celebration told you more than the run ever could.
No shotgun celebration, more the run to the bench, wasn't it, from Reece?
A little bit more subdued than in previous weeks, but it'd be good to see him later in the game get that trademark showmanship going and rearing his team onward.
So it's out to a 5-goal ball game at the moment. Giants a few opportunities early doors of this first quarter, but the Lions are just making the most of their inside 50s. As we wait for David Newell to ping the footy into the turf. Look at that, up and down, as easy as you'd like if you're a ruckman. Came out the way of Lions, inside 50, beautiful kick, but cut off really nicely there across half-back for the Lions. It's Jimmy the Jet Peatling. Short one there, found Bonner. So Bonner just happy to chip it out wide, risky kick, but it's well marked by Harry Grant. Had a bit of it in this first quarter. So Harry looks forward, looks for just to link up with a couple of clean possessions. Umpire calls him to go, drop punt up the wing, will it stay in? Just big fly from behind, Briggs was fisting, and Eagles happy to see it go out of play, and it will be tossed in.
Good bit of ruck work there from Tom Fullerton earlier.
Yeah.
He can really jump, that boy. I mean, to be fair, he's 200 centimetres tall.
Former basketballer as well, so knows his old tip-offs.
Knows a thing or two about jumping up and winning the start there, but good to see him fly. And speaking of flying, the ball flies through the air. Punched away there delicately from Flynn. Gives a bit of a wave. Bit of an apology wave to his teammates.
Bobby Hill and Bonner just wanting it down their throat. They might have to work a bit harder for it than that.
Bit of push and shove with Bobby on Joyce. Imagine Joyce would be a pesky man. He's been very up and active in the contest so far. Couldn't use his body there, Flynn, but could use those very long arms of his to win that down. Harry Grant gets to the way. No one can make the clearance, Bonner included. Grant tries to pick it up, but there's Joyce. Ryan Q gives it to Smith. Smith puts a really awkward-looking Torp-style kick, and it's just bounced off the foot ever so awkwardly. Nearly a turn and slip. Instead, there was a change from Madden to Revel. Revel gives it. Here's a chance for Allison. Is he going to go for goal? He certainly does. Right boot, but that one's faded away to the right-hand side.
Geez, when the ball was turned over there, Smith and Wooler were in mountains of space for the Lions, but they couldn't quite find them. The Giants are quick to realise the Lions haven't marked up as Flynn marks strongly. Short kick, Grant the target, but it's cut off. Chance here for Brisbane a forward. Coleman dive through a tackle. That should be holding the ball. Umpire says play on. Tackling pressure good from Belbasis. Lions round the body inside 50, and the mark is well taken there by Connor Iden. He's the first Giant out onto Giant Stadium this afternoon. Just having a look and inspecting this beautiful surface. It's Iden up the wing, ripping kick. Who'll fly? Briggs from the side, couldn't mark. Addison there too. Jimmy the Jet happy to see it out of play, and it will be tossed in.
Good to see that bit of injection from Briggs though, just trying to work his way into those contested marks. Always so good seeing him soar through the air.
So the Lions in front of us, they just have their board up at the moment. It says, has the number 1 on it, so assumably less than a minute to play in this first quarter. Picked off there nicely by Hill to Jimmy the Jet. There was actually 1 second left to play, I think you'll find in it. Quarter time here at Giant Stadium. A really good start for the Lions. 6-3-39. A 31-point lead over the Giants. 1-2-8. Hopefully you're enjoying this one wherever you're watching on NEAFL TV. Cameron's behind the pool at Barley having a bintang. Go and grab another freshie.
Certainly winning the Spectator Award, isn't he?
Let us know where you're watching from. Who are your best players in that first quarter? We'll take a quick break here at Giant Stadium. It's a 31-point lead to the ladder-leading Lions. when you're ready, I reckon, mate. Yeah. As Giants players break from their huddles, Lions players are already in position for the second quarter. Welcome back to Giants Stadium. It is a 31-point lead to the ladder-leading Brisbane Lions. Our major possession winners to quarter time. Corey Lyons, 12 touches. Really nice work there. Allison, Bastanak, Matheson and Keys all with 8 apiece for Brisbane. For the Giants, Harry Grant leading the way with 7 alongside the Ruckman Flynn. Jimmy the Jet Peatlings had 5, as have a handful of others. Our goal kickers to quarter time. If you've just joined us, just the single for Nick Murray for GWS, and for the Lions, Matheson and Archie Smith have 2 apiece, Bastanak and Cox the others. Play about to get underway in this second quarter. Hopefully you're enjoying this one wherever you're watching on NEAFL TV. Let us know where you're watching from. We'll get to a couple of them during this second quarter. I'm Eddie Summerfield. Here is Will Jackson to get play underway. The Lions to the right-hand side of your NEAFL TV.
So been excellent time and an interesting time to see how the Giants respond to this, and it starts right here with this ruck battle. Bounced favourably by way to Flynn, but it's just going to be knocked aside, and Liver wrestled there in the middle. Strong bodies there. Liking all the... We always like calling Lions and Giants games. The fans are very vocal in the comments, which we always love to see. So clearance is made here into the path of Cedric Cox, and look at that great full stretch mark from him. The athleticism is on show today. Don't you worry. Someone was asking where they've opened the gates there at Giants Stadium. Actually, most of the crowd are on the broadcast side, so you probably can't see them, but they are trickling in. Long ball up to the top. Can this be knocked away? Man just sees it go over into the touch. A bit of a chance here to attack. Con McFadgen, one of the many Irish names out there on the park today.
Bit of an excitement machine, really, isn't he, from the Lions Academy?
He's been good in previous weeks. Just needs to work his way into this match. So the ball's up by way of the Lions attacking chance here. Try and get himself out of trouble. Cox gives it off to Keys, gives it off down the back towards Smith, but that's tapped. Been a lot of that today, some desperate defence, and that'll go through for a behind.
Chance to just go through a couple of those comments, Will, if you've got any ready off the NEAFL TV YouTube page. I
know Cam Middleton, he's on Bintang number 3 at Sheppy's Bar in Legian, which is exceptional, whereas Jimmy Maguire is actually unfortunately Bintang free on his couch, and he may have did a sprinkle of bad language when he mentioned his couch. We have someone from Chile watching, or Chile, if you want to get a little bit technical with your pronunciations.
Here's Bobby Hill from behind, flying high, and unrealistic leap at it according to the umpire. He was parallel with the ground when the ball got to him, so probably a fair enough call. A few viewers in the US as well, I saw.
Yeah, a couple in the US, so plenty of action. Keep the comments coming, but back to the action. Fired in by Starcevic, and a great mark taken, Matty Buntine. And we were talking about him before the game, seeing how his senior push. He must be on the nose of selection. He's strung together. He's the real general down there in defence for the Giants, isn't he, Ed? And he's got a pretty long roost on him too. So cleared out and the chance to burst down the way and go. Keys, again, usually such a smart user. Kick was a little bit shaky, but Allison's managed to pick this one up, go by hand. Smith, excellent tackle. Bobby Hill, and instead of going to play out, try and get it out was Caldwell there before Keys has picked that one off, but you won't escape a Nick Shipley tackle too easily, and it'll be there for a ball up.
Well, 4th in the competition for tackles this year, Nick Shipley laid 68 of them in the NEAFL as it's tossed up again. Bobby Hill will keep it in. The excitement machine, and then thankfully for him, the umpire said, nah, that wasn't going to a teammate, let's toss it in.
So good to watch Bobby Hill. Everything he does is just so quick. How he threw that one down to the boot. He just seems to move at a fraction of a pace faster.
So tossed in half forward. Smith and Flynn do battle. Flynn got to the front of that one, looking for Shipley. Shipley picks it up, looked for Bobby Hill, ignored that. Lions with numbers, and it will be tossed in once again.
Starting to play towards this boundary side and not yet giving a run through the middle. Waiting for another Callum Brown style moment to charge through straight through the front doors. This one's gone up and Smith's in the superior position there. Bastanak would love to receive this from Smith. He did well to shrug that. Starcevic gives a tap off. Keys and Smith there again. Good little jump over from Eli Smith. He's really on the ground getting involved.
Geez, Bobby's third quarter, he started really strongly, hasn't he? Laid a couple of tackles, couple of quick possessions for the Giants. More or less in a holding pattern, you feel, at the moment this match, as Cordwell's wrapped up in a Ben Keys tackle.
I think they need that injection of energy from someone, because you just feel like the Lions midfielders are everywhere at the moment. So you just need that disruptor to come in, and there's Aiden Bonner, who can be so handy. Trying to flick his way around there was Payne. Chance to move quickly if he can get up here, Kieran Briggs, but he's just been wrapped up in a Jacob Allison tackle ever so effectively.
Your man, Will, the man from Pennant Hills. He's good at ground level and in the air. Really like that.
Big fan of Kieran Briggs, and really hope he gets on the score sheet today and takes another screamer. Good guy to yell his name out to. But instead, Hinge has done a great job. Smith again, playing it forward over to the far side. And it's still there to be won. Louis Taylor tries to bob that one away from the Giants, but it is just going to go into touch. May Buntime making his way towards the back to restructure and get his defensive line looking solid again. Quell this assault from the Lions, which you just feel is going to come at any moment if you give them a sniff.
So tossed in, Smith and Flynn doing battle. Flynn will just grab that out of the ruck, ping it inside 50, and it will bounce out towards the boundary line. They're not a bad result for GWS.
Bit of territory, and you can mask that one. Won't get pinged for deliberate.
Now, where are your small forwards here? Bobby Hill's running back towards the hot spot. Kieran Briggs puts his hand up to go in the ruck. That means Flynn will just be lurking as a bit of a stopper across half forward for the Giants. Tossed in again. Briggs won that one down. Keys off the ground. Is it deliberate? We saw one earlier today. And the controlling umpire says, let's toss it in. Not deliberate.
The deliberates are interesting. The one before, if that was a defensive kick, that probably would have been paid deliberate. Because it was attacking, they don't call it. And that's been a bit of a debate lately in some of the other games.
So in it comes again. Briggs from behind. Got a good tap down forward. Here's Bobby Hill, who run to 45. Kick was partially smothered and it goes out of play. And it will be tossed in.
Been quite a lot of smothering.
Sorry, Will. There's a whistle on play here. Now they're just conferring. Now was it I thought it was pretty clearly touched off the boot as the umpires call for a meeting at half forward for the Giants. Bobby Hill's just lurking, wants to know, can I get a free kick here? And it will be tossed in. So ball to be tossed in. Giants in attack. Hopefully you're enjoying this one on NEAFL TV. Thanks to our broadcast partners, Bar TV this year. Leon steady behind the camera as per usual. Tossed in. Briggs won this one down. Came out to Bonner. Couldn't quite mark. Really clever little kick. Came the way of Cordwell. Hanging out the back. Snap around the body this time for Dunkley. First goal in the NEAFL. What a ripper from Adam Dunkley. They'll come from everywhere at Giants Stadium to pat him on the head and say good goal. The Giants have the first of this second quarter.
The weekend of Dunkley performances continues. First game of NEAFL, managing to get a goal early in the second quarter here. Terrific result. That'll be a great Christmas. The bragging rights there at the Christmas table as to which Dunkley did the best job throughout the year.
Just the late call up to the NEAFL this weekend for Dunkley. Playing in the eastern suburbs in the Sydney Footy League.
I haven't checked on my precious Demons to see how they're going and whether Kyle Dunkley is managing to have any impact.
I wonder if he's got a...
I dare not look against Carlton. Bottom of the table clash, almost. Instead, the ball's played down, and May Flynn, just those giraffe legs, puts it forward off the soccer. Good little run and go here from Squire. Puts it forward, but Matty Eagles should be able to comfortably run onto that. He awkwardly sees it bobbled through, and they'll get 1 point for their troubles. Matty Eagle won't be too concerned with that. And Allison here with a chance for a quick assault. Let's that drop really low. Louis Stevenson goes by hand back to Allison. Allison on the far side there. Thought Coleman was going to jump up and steal that, but he will let that one go because there's a bit of run through and play here. Long kick. Really lots of players around to try and tick that, but coming away with it was Sam Skinner. Unbelievably. Plays it into the space. Bruce Revels under it there. What can Bruce do? He was really exciting a few weeks ago, but a perfect kick straight onto the chest. Hasn't been called the full 15, and away they go before it's tapped over for another ball in. Bit of a shame there because it was a lovely fast centering kick there from Revel, but
Quite like the selflessness there of Brucey Revel, like really had enough time to line up the big sticks. Not much wind today. It's a pretty dry sort of afternoon, so the ball would be sticking nicely. But they did the team thing, back to the corridor. Lions in attack, good use of the body by Flynn. Big tackle laid there from Reece Matheson, and it will be tossed up.
You can see the senior players who've got the AFL experience are really making themselves be felt around the ground, and just that closing speed and not letting the opposition get any time.
Beautiful pick up there. Tom Joyce wrapped up in a tackle from, as you mentioned there, Will, AFL experienced player there in Matty Buntine. Playing his 6th game in the NEAFL this year. Played a handful in the AFL as well. Flynn wins this one down. Bonner wrapped up. Keys hot in his tail. Really good tackle from Keys. Came out to Jimmy the Jet Peatling. Long up the wing. Just wants a target. Addison is thereabouts. Ball will stay in, thankfully, for the Giants on the wing. Good tackle there on Eagles by Nick Murray, who kicks the first for the Giants today. And it will be tossed in centre wing. Chance to reload for both sides here and set up.
Looks a little bit shaky with his hands today, Matty Eagles. Just letting a few ones bobble around and just loses those precious milliseconds that you need at this level of football. Need all the time you can get. Squire plays it across his body, but it's not going to go a whole lot further apart from Skinner. He'll do a centering ball to Allison. Allison nearly played on, but decides to go to...
Oh, you're gone,
Jeez, that is exceptional from Bobby. Just lightning. You don't take him on for pace. You never take on Bobby for pace. Everything he does is just lightning. Puts a kick up. Great spoil, Allison, but still a chance to unload and go. Corwell put a great tackle in. Squire underneath trying to bob it. Allison will get it again, and he says, I'm not going to try run it this time. Taylor gave it off to Revel, and geez, he nearly got hunted too. Good-looking kick, not quite picked off. Callum Brown. Can he make his way through? Bursting through the pack like Tarzan. Gives it off to Bobby Hill. Centering ball. Absolutely pinpoint perfect. Directly onto the chest. That is just absolutely sensational.
How good was that from Brown? We called for it, break the line, and he absolutely did that. Isaac Bartholomaeus, late inclusion today for the Giants. First game at NEAFL level, we think.
So as he makes his run in, supposed to be wearing the number 41. The kick's on its way. Oh! Nearly gets the distance, and what a shame to not finish that one off. It was a pretty long kick for anyone, but what exceptional build-up play there. So Allison, he's been so involved in this past passage of play. Gives a chipper off, an awkward one. Matty Eagles running through and does not fumble that one. There's a free. Oh, and a bit of push and shove.
Off the ball there after Eagles was running back.
I bet you I know who it is too. Is it Lyons? Not Lyons, Joyce, sorry. No.
It is Lyons.
It's Lyons. Yeah, I thought it was going to be Joyce. He's been a real antagoniser out there in the middle. So he gives a far one out to Rampage. Bobby, stop trying to outrun him. You're never going to win it.
They learnt their lesson that you'd think the first time as the ball comes out the back. Here's Brown, another man you can't afford to take on in a foot race. Couldn't quite find the handle on it. Lions going forward again. Good handball out from Matheson. Found Keys. Here's a goal kicker, Ben Keys. Lines him up beautifully and hits the post. Chance goes begging for the Lions. They're a real quick team, this GWS side. How's Bobby's pressure been this quarter?
He's just sneaking up on people.
Super quick.
With his winning goal, I think he made up 30 metres in the time everyone else had ran 10 to go on to the end of that winner.
Big fly there from Sam Skinner from the kick in. Just slow things down for the Lions. Bit of composure is what they needed. Called to go now. Short one. Caldwell was there. Cut off Berry. And the footy goes out of play there in front of Louis Taylor.
Really great bit of desperation, though. That's where they're going to need to respond here against the Lions. They're just going to have to match them on pressure. Slow them. Give them no time. Force them into those errors. Because otherwise they're a very clean, cool use of the ball. So many good users in that Lions outfit. So ball's one down there and trying to burst through. Having a wrestle there is Joyce. No push and shove, but the umpire says nothing clean going on there. Ball with me, please. Still a chance here for the Lions, and a good one at that. Played around the flanks and get themselves a bit of space. Borden try to tap it down and swung around like a rag doll. Can they play that by hands here, the Giants? It's just a little bit shaky there. Bartholomaeus under that. Joyce playing forward. There he is again. That'll stay pretty static here. An absolute sprint to get some fresh legs onto the ground.
Ben Keys.
Keys.
Toby Wooler will be the man coming on, who's pressing for An AFL debut later this season as it came out the back. Running through was Caldwell. He goes up the line. Really good use of the body there from Nick Murray from behind. Chance here for the Giants. Conlon wrapped up in a tackle. Ball spilt free. It'll come out the way of Coleman for the Lions through midfield. Geez, Ripper, they're lining up through midfield. Cox has got it. Flick the handle off Bobby Hill from behind. Good tackling pressure. Ball back at ground level. Apologies there. It was Brown. Picked up Weaving. Steen. Really nice from the decathlete through pressure. Shipley was good. Flicked a handball out wide. Giants with numbers. Kick up the line is a poor one, and Coleman will mark pretty simply for Brisbane at half back as he assesses things. He'll come inboard. Joyce there. Matheson too. Raffle it. So Matheson now doesn't have a lot to go to. So he goes to the skipper there, Josh Walker. A couple of his fans watching on NEAFL TV this afternoon. Kick out wide will work out okay. Louis Taylor's got it. So he'll just go short over the top. It won't quite hit the target. Fullerton, the big fella, bent over, picked it up. Louis Taylor back with it. Handball risky to Eagles. Bangs it long to half forward. 2-on-2 situation. Good use of the body by Briggs. Umpire said it was a push. And Brisbane will get a free kick there to Sam Skinner.
So Skinner's been active so far this quarter, and he had a kick from a very similar spot not too long ago. Call it 3 minutes.
Why not?
So what can Skinner make of this? I look to tell the time over the top of the goal square, but that's a wonderful mark, uncontested. No, not ideal if you're a Giants defender. And under there is Toby Wooler, who came on for Ben Keys only moments ago. So it's always good for the confidence when you can come on the field and just take an uncontested grab like that.
I reckon you can just about go back to your position if you're out there at the moment. Toby Wooler, very reliable in front of goal, and this should be no exception. 18-9 coming into today's game for the season.
Bit of a hybrid. He can play forward and back, even in the middle midfield. And there's a perfect kick straight down the middle. Absolutely no troubles at all for Toby Wooler, and a great injection making his presence felt. And another Lions goal as they begin to make this scoreline look daunting. It is their first of the quarter though, so Giants have done well to at least get the first goal of the game, of the quarter.
We're back out to our quarter-time margin, if my maths goes correctly. 31 points, so a real arm wrestle. But we saw that in the first quarter with the Giants, that they really did match up with the Lions for probably the first 20 minutes of that quarter, and then after that the Lions were able to just work through a couple of majors and kick away to get this 5-goal lead.
Interesting to see Berry there lining up with Bonner.
Two excitement machine young guns.
The BBs.
So ball back in the middle. Have a look at that. Up and down. Briggs doing the ruck work for the Giants. Won it down to Shipley. 2 Western Sydney products for the Giants. Kick up is cut off by Coleman. Those 2 for the Giants, the only 2 who've been drafted to the club from the Sydney Basin. Steen, another one from Penrith, as the short one comes inboard, backwards to go forwards. Bastanak, Eagles marks on this occasion. Could go sideways to Allison, ignored that. Called to play on now. Flynn's just marking territory beautifully. Eagles got around him eventually and finds the chipping kick to Walker. Walker goes up over the top. Really good tackling pressure from Conlon. Pressure still on the Lions as it goes off the ground. Interesting, cut off by Steen. So here's Steen. Commonwealth Games athlete in 2014, now a Giants listed player. Bonner sells some candy, runs to 50, lines him up, ripping goal for the Giants. Yes! Really good goal there from Aidan Bonner from right on 50. And the Giants have a quick reply to stem the margin back to 25 points.
That was an exceptional show and go. Call him Willy Wonka if he can sell candy like that. It's just incredible. And then he still had to get his balance back and kick over the top of another man on the mark. But really great stuff from Aidan Bonner.
Clean hands as well there from Steen through the corridor. And we saw the pressure there that the Giants forwards were able to put on. They were just chipping it around half-back Brisbane and couldn't quite get that clean exit from defensive 50. And really, really good stuff from the Giants forwards. Haven't seen a lot of that this season, but when we do, geez, it's beautiful to watch.
So another fantastic response here from the Giants. Can they continue this momentum shift? Will it bounce back in favour as the ball's bounced into the turf easily, just so to advantage, and everyone stopped wondering, saying no way, that has to be called back. Big, long, searching ball sent out by Conlon into the path. Eagles is there, and Couple of men flying. Oh, Addison over the top, trying to get his hands on the pill. Little chance to respond once again, but it's going to fall short. Unless the mark can be taken. It's a terrific mark that is taken, but it's not for the Giants. And they'll get a chance to move this one if the Giants forwards give them a little bit of space, which they have not been very willing to do so. Coleman flies away, gets it off, and goes an inside ball to Bastanak. Bastanak plays forward to an under fire Tom Berry. Berry plays it out. Give a chance here, Bell basis. And it's a 2-on-1. Flynn flies. Not going to be taken. Still a chance here, and the ball's still very alive. It's pretty hot, but it's cleared away. Lions under territory fire. What an exceptional grab out there from Callum Brown.
Tell you what, I reckon this is the best I've ever seen him play today. He's been marking well, he's been taking on the play well, he's been breaking the lines exceptionally. He'll go inside 50, Brown on this occasion. High one, needs a mark, set it up for Briggs from the side. Ball came down, Keys picked it up, wrapped up in a tackle. Just at ground level at the moment. Good tackling pressure from Bartholomaeus of the Isaac variety. And it will be tossed up. What do you reckon? About 15 out from the Giants' goal. They've kicked 2-1 this quarter. Really have stood up against this top of the table imposing Lions time. Out the back. Good tackle from Louis Taylor. Good pressure from the Lions. And it will be tossed in. Few asking how Louis Taylor has been today. A little bit quiet from his standards. 10 touches, 4 marks. Hasn't laid a tackle until then. Leading possession, get it on the ground. Corey Lyons, he's had 17 touches. For the Giants, Harry Grant, he's had 9, as has Flynn.
So the ball's pulled forward, and Flynn didn't quite win the ruck battle there, but ever so delicately done. Bell Basis tries to play on. Joyce will pick it up, and they'll go by hand through the middle. Bit of a chipper into a path in the 1-on-1. Cedric Cox here. Doesn't have too much in front of him, but if he can pinpoint this delicately, doesn't quite. They need a chance to turn around and go here because the Lions are beginning to swarm like they're out in the savannah. But playing out there do the Giants standing tall. Shipley puts it onto the right foot, and the costly turnover has been quelled. They'll go short, and Shipley will look to reset.
Geez, Buntine slow to get up from that marking contest before. Oh, just getting up now as the trainer comes to him, and Ben Keys marks up on him out of respect, I'd say.
So Shipley sends a long one towards the far side flank. The mark will not be taken at this occasion, and a couple of hands trying to trade their way between, like a deal at the dockyards. Bastanak puts a right foot slowing down kick onto the far side. Trying to have a look out in the play around here.
So it's with Josh Walker, the skipper this afternoon for the Lions. Long to half forward, Buntine underneath it. Big pack of players. Brown flew, tapped down, looking for Shipley. Lions with numbers, could have been high. Umpire called play on. Bastanak's got it, goes out wide with handball. Bit of a hospital half-pass, turned over. Here's Addison, second game for the season for the Giants. The former Bulldog sells some candy, goes wide with a handball. They can link up really nicely here. Bit of a slow one. Harry Grant did well. Buntime kept coming. Goes inside 50, searching ball, and it bounces there. Was it before the chalk? Not quite, and it will be a free kick to the Lions. They'll go quickly across half-back. They've got players lining up. Louis Taylor should come to him on the bounce and does. He'll have to go quickly. Short one to Smith is good. So just slowing things down. Over the top. Really nice, finds McFadgen. Has a look up. He's got Cedric Cox on his own. Ignores that. Short one. Oh, Joyce just marking before the chalk.
Did very well to keep that one in there, Joyce. Right in front of the umpire as well. No room to mess that one up. Short looming kick there to Louis Taylor. So again, this pressure you spoke about seems to be working because they just can't seem to move it too far, the Lions, but they are making their kicks count. Starcevic, ball in hand, having a look around. Contested beast, but didn't have to contest for that one. Just had to be there.
Just the 9 touches today for Starcevic.
Be there he was. So Starcevic just goes long down the flank. Big fly mark from Smith and cleaned up nicely, but drilled out in the touch. Really, really good tackle from Jai Caldwell on Bastanak.
He is a tackling machine, the Bendigo boy, Jai Caldwell.
He's got a junior boxing title for Victoria, Jai Caldwell. Apparently he does cricket, basketball, he did all of them. This is knocked down here. Giants take the favour out, but he's just crunched from behind by Archie Smith. There's the boxer, Jai Caldwell. Probably not going to pick a fight with Archie Smith.
5 tackles today. That's most on ground, equal with a couple of other players. Bit of holding goes on. Bonner Shipley was good. Ball ricocheted backwards, and it will be pinged to Joyce's chest. So about, what are we, about 23 minutes gone in this second quarter. Hopefully you're enjoying this on NEAFL TV. Real arm wrestle at the moment as Archie Smith did exceptionally well in the rucking battle. It was touched off the boot, so they had to keep going. Joyce good again, threw it out. Umpire was blindsided, so Lyons got a kick up to Huffield. Goes through the legs, clean bowled. At waiting out the back Buntine. He'll have to go quickly, turned it straight over to Bastenack. A dribbler towards goal. Bouncing ball, Keys on the goal line, soccers it through. And the Lions get something out of nothing. Dare I say it, we didn't have the NEAFL TV effects mic out there, but I reckon Bastenack said Bunner's short with the hands because Matty Buntine just flicked it straight to him, which you wouldn't have thought he'd done unless he heard a call while he was picking it up off the turf here at Giant Stadium.
Ben Keys has done the right thing and let that one go through. So he decided to not steal the goal and let it go through for the long-range dribbler, which seems to be becoming more and more in favour as the weeks go by. Jason Dunstall would have something to say about that. He does not like the dribble kick.
So we're back to 31 points, Will.
Back to the original margin, the quarter-time margin. So every time the Giants try and change the scales in their favour, the Lions balance it straight back up. So awkward-looking bounce there, but just ever so clean goes Caldwell. Out to the far side, and can the mark be taken there from Harry Grant and spilt out? Here's Bobby Hill, tries to play it forward into his own path, but it's just going to roll over for the throw-in. Been pretty exciting stuff, regardless of the lack of margin change. The game itself has been pretty exceptional. Some really strong... You just sense a bit of a lift in energy with some of the tackling out in the middle there. Harder hits being made. This one's gone forward and Flynn won that one down. Bonner couldn't quite take it cleanly, and awkward-looking kicks played very up high in the air, and unfortunately that's going to be out on the full. Free kick Lions.
So 31 points ball game. Really enjoying this one here at Giant Stadium. In my books, one of the better stadiums to watch Aussie rules, most certainly, as it's on centre wing at the moment. Lions with numbers, chance to go forward again. They'll raffle it through midfield. Here's Joyce, another inside 50 to him. Beautiful kick up and mark. And Bastenack has a chance to go back and kick his second in a couple of minutes. And third for the game.
He's always so active around the ground, Bastenack. One of their leaders without a title, I suppose you would say. He's always up and about, and people trust him so much, even the opposition seem to handball to him.
Kicked one in the first quarter, kicked a dribble before, set shot this time, drop punt on the way. Bastenack misses to the right-hand side. Nearly kept in there by Tom Fullerton. So the Giants, this is a critical point in the quarter for them. Trailing by 32 points. They want to keep the margin around that 5 to 4 goal kind of ratio to launch an attack in this second half. Kane Flack in possession at the moment. He'll put it on his right boot to Huffield, looking for the check-out chick Briggs. Flynn will fly too. Ball came to ground level. Chance here for the Lions. Cut off by the boxer Caldwell. Came to Addison, wrapped up in a tackle. Just got his kick away. The boxer picks it up. Goes back out wide to Bobby Hill. Bobby has a look up. Not much doing. Found Shipley. Shipley reverse handball to Briggsy. Briggsy turned it over because Shipley was running too fast. Lions will go forward again. Here's Skinner. Skinner to half forward. There's a Giant down. There's a bit of holding, and the umpire should call...
It's a bit of a late hit from Dylan Addison, I think, is the call.
Interesting. So a free kick will go the way of Archie Smith. I thought he may have been calling a stoppage and a ball up, considering there was a semi-injured player there in the hands of the trainers, but not the case. So Archie Smith, now Gravatt product, 9 goals, 8 for the season coming into today. Real impressive ruckman, right on the logo from 50. That's an impressive strike of the ball, Archie Smith. 50 metres out, as easy as you like, and the Lions have suddenly kicked the last 3 goals of this ball game.
I think we're beginning to see exactly what you spoke about at the beginning. We're getting into that last 10 minutes there, Eddie, and as the last 10 minutes come and the legs start to tire, the Lions just begin pouncing and making you really capitalise for the mistakes. So Giants going to have to pull something out of the bag. Someone's going to have to step up if they're to stop this trend continuing.
quite liked the movement the Giants had coming off half back there, and Kieran Briggs, he was just a fraction of a second too slow, and perhaps Nick Shipley was a fraction of a second too quick to receive the handball there, and wanted a little bit more magic from the checkout chick to maybe go over the top instead of just tap it on through.
It's a hard one to play. I mean, they just couldn't really change their pace because they didn't have any space. So instead, Jai Caldwell, who's really gotten up and about in this last sort of 7-minute period, he's played the ball into some space, but should be seen over. No, it's not. The inside handball was given, but it's not going to be seen a whole lot further. Harry Grant there just sees it go out of bounds. Really hard to get something going here for the young Giants team as they look to take on the big juggernauts of this year's competition in the Lions. Goes through the breadbasket. Shipley gives an awkward handball, and this is where it spells trouble. So Cedric Cox gives it off to Hinge. Cox tries to get it back. Now looking a little bit shaky too. Another awkward-looking handball, but Starcevic will put onto his right boot toward the flank, and Corey Lyons there just says, hold up, guys, let's not go too quick.
Disposal number 20 coming up for him. Been everywhere.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves as he sends it forward. Just outside the 50 now. Nice fly there, Fullerton. You know he likes to take those more inside 50. He's a beautiful kick, but he's not going to be able to kick it this far. So looking for his options here and just decides to settle for the pack. Back in the big flyers. Isn't quite taken, but there's a dribbler placed through by Wooler. But it won't quite get through the goals. In fact, it goes through for the minor sticks.
Really good crumbing and smart crumbing from Wooler there. You'd see a lot of players just stop and look to dish a handball off, but thought, you know, there's a bit of space in front of me. I'll try and dribble one and get a bit of a lucky bounce my way. Not on this occasion. So the Giants back in the middle. Steen, risky kick, but I like taking the game on through the corridor because they've got players hanging out the back. That's a really good kick, but going backwards with the flight, the Lion was really good. They'll come back into the corridor. That's a good setup kick, Moen. So he'll just slow things down. That's a poor kick. Joyce there, Briggs too, but Joyce marks in front. So Tom Joyce, he's had plenty of it in this second quarter. Short one over top to Lyons, who's had a little bit more of it, in fact. 21 touches for him now. Short little chip is a real nice one. And the Lions will look to go forward through Allison. Inside 50. They've got the numbers here. They've got the fly hanging out the back. Smith, smart handball over the top. They just keep working it by hand. Last line in defence for the Giants did really well. Cut it off, in fact. Chance here for the Giants out of defence. That's really good play. Chip out kick was no good, though. And it's cut off by Brucey Revel. Sells a bit of candy, ran to 50, goes long to the top of the goal square, and Flynn standing his ground. Just marks, goes short to Steen. So Steen now realised that there's not a lot to kick to. So he'll just bang it away. Really good kick. Briggs from the side. The half-time siren beats him to it. And a really good arm wrestle, hard and fast game of footy, Will Jackson.
Worth mentioning, Mitch Hinge came off right towards the end there looking very sore. I'm not sure whether it was hamstring or ankle, but it looked a bit like his day was over. So let's just hope everything is all good on Mitch Hinge's end. But apart from that, we've got a pretty interesting game ahead of us as the Lions have just begun to maybe take this a little bit out of reach. Giants needing to find a spark from somewhere, Eddie.
Well, they kicked 6 goals in that first quarter, the Lions, to 1, and then that third quarter a lot tighter. The Giants did really well. They were leading it for a lot of it, but 3 goals to 2 to open up a 39-point ball game. Our major goal kickers to half-time, Bonner, Dunkley and Murray, the goal kickers for the Giants. Good to see Dunkley getting a goal on his first. And for the Lions, Smith, Bastanak and Matheson have got 3, 2 and 2 respectively. Cox and Toby Wooler the other one. But at half-time here at Giants Stadium, we're going to take a short break. We're back in about 15 minutes or so for what's going to be a pretty tight arm wrestle second half. It is the Lions leading the Giants by 39 points. Welcome back to Giants Stadium. It is a 39-point half-time lead to the Brisbane Lions. Real good arm wrestle here after the Lions had a 6-1 first quarter. I'm Eddie Summerfield, joined by Will Jackson on NEAFL TV. And here is the great AFL Nines leading goal kicker, Will Jackson, to get the second half underway.
So driven into the turf goes the ball and slapped straight in the hands of Lyons. He'll put a long across the body clearance. Trying to take the mark there was Bunton. For a bit of added pressure came. Berry underneath that one on the ground. It's going to have to come up, so pretty early shaky start. And Lions continuing their strong midfield dominance through clearance. Lions and Joyce been so active through there and getting their clearances in. Fullerton using that 200 centimetre frame to his advantage. Try and get the hand pass away, and Lions will do the exact same type of clearance. Dropping down, looking for Bastanak. Instead, Keys is underneath that one. But he's being hunted by Caldwell, who lets him go. Left foot snap. Is going to bend around the corner. It's absolutely exceptional, that one. Hardly even celebrate, but he should have, because he made that look just so effortless.
You know what he gave it when he kicked it, Will? It was that little emoji where you put your arms to either side and just go, how good was that? Oh, it was pretty bloody good. There was Ben Keys, and that's a cracking goal.
Bit of a head wobbler moment for him. Really exceptional from Ben Keys. Usually such a great ball user, and he's a great goal kicker too.
Perfect start for the Lions in this second half. Hopefully you're enjoying this one on NEAFL TV. As crowd's starting to build. It is Kids' Day here at Giant Stadium, so plenty of underages hereabouts. Heard the ground announcer at halftime. They've been replaced by two boys, I think, under the age of 12. So should be a cracking game for the AFL later on this evening as it's tossed up in midfield again. Flynn won that one down. Aidan Bonner there diving on top of it. That was nice. Chance here for Matheson for the Lions going forward again. Runs to 60. Vacant goal square. How will it bounce? Cedric Cox leads the foot race and it goes out of play, where it will be tossed in. And if you have just joined us, Mitch Hinge, he left the field with what looks like a calf or hamstring injury late in that first half, and he was helped off down the race by the trainers just going into that half-time huddle. As Flynn wins this one down, went searching for Bonner, ball bubbling away at ground level. Lions are looking to lock it in. Kick came out wide, bit of a trip. Fight, wrestle at half forward for Brisbane, and it will be tossed up.
Hopefully the viewers are enjoying this today. There's been a lot of action in the comments section. We haven't heard from Cam Middleton, the man with the bintang in hand. Maybe he's had one too many. Lions, once again, like it's on replay, sensational mark across there. Steen. So Steen will just go right foot into the path there of Bonner's just trying to shake him loose. He's got a little bit of pressure there on the far side now. So try and sum up his options, and Lions haven't given them a whole lot of space.
Oh dear.
Bunton is deep, and there's going to be a little added pressure, but it's an exceptionally weighted kick from Bonner. Connor Iden, he'll take the ball in hand. Looking down the flank, Shipley's trying to lead, but Stevenson's not letting him out of sight, so Bunton will take it.
Geez, that's a really good mark in front of Tom Berry, and we know how much he loves the third quarter.
Tom Berry, this is his time to shine if it's anything like his last match. Bunton's got no real option but to go long. Bobby just gets out of the path of a couple of big men. Letting that one go out. There's Jack Payne. He bobbed up in the third quarter a few weeks ago with a slamming Hulk Hogan style tackle. So we'll see how he works his way into the physicality of this quarter and wait for this one to come in.
So tossed in now. Giants, they'll be looking for the quick reply. Came down to the boxer there in Caldwell. Wrapped up high, perhaps. Umpire said, nope, you ducked into that one. Jai Caldwell, pick 11 in the 2018 draft from Bendigo in central Victoria. Tapped down by Flynn, came out the way of Bonner to Shipley. Those two have linked up really nicely today. Here's Shipley inside 50, floating drop punt kick. Will go out the back, off hands, chance here for the Giants. Spilled out, snapping around the body. Nick Murray kicked the first of the first half for the Giants, and he's kicked the first of the second half for the Giants. Really good stuff and crumbing there by Nick Murray. Front and centre, if you like, and drilled a really nice quick reply goal for GWS.
He's from Henty in southern New South Wales there, so a bit of a local boy, you'd say, and good to see him getting another goal so early in this half.
Real sheep kind of a country there, Henty, I think you'll find. Cattle as well.
All sorts.
Doing it tough with the drought at the moment as well, southern New South Wales.
They are, so we hope for a bit of rain out there, but there's not a shred of rain in the air out here. It's a beautiful day for football. The ball's bouncing. See how the players adapt when it goes from the sunny side into the shady side. I know where we'll be parked for the AFL game later today, Ed. This one's gone down, and geez, just about to gallop his way into an open nest there. Played forward by Bobby Hill, and a chance to re-tap and go. It's going to be grabbed and tried to be flinged out here, but no one can really grab it too cleanly. So, a bit of a struggle, but speaking of clean, Louis Taylor, little snap made into the path, and that's an excellent take from Jimmy the Jet Peatling. So, Peatling with a couple chances to move this ball around, goes just short and easy to Flynn. Everyone yelling at him, but he decides to go long towards the goal square. Big fly from behind, but Matty Eagles will come away with it. Awkward looking pass. They look a little bit rattled out the back without Mitch Hinge. So Peatling's got a very long option if he can look up and see him. What will he do? He does decide, sees him right down the back. Who can go and fly? Absolutely stunning mark into the contest. Exactly how you like to take him.
Nick Murray again.
Once again. So he'll pip up for his 3. He's really renowned for his aerial prowess. We've only seen him do a couple of ground ball wins today, but there's the start of it, and there's another goal for the Giants. And it means something to him. They're going to have to start really quick this quarter if they want to come back, because the last 10 minutes of each quarter has been shaky.
You mentioned there Lucas Conlon. He was the man just with his arms waving everywhere. He attracted the crowd, which enabled Nick Murray just to get into a little bit of space at the top of that goal square. And Conlon, he's a real jet around goals. First game in the NEAFL today. He kicked 7 goals in 5 NAB League games earlier this year, playing for the Giants. So really one to watch out for, and a weapon up forward. And the Giants, well, 2 goals to 1 in this third quarter.
If they can keep getting some long ones, I really want to test out this reputation of Nick Murray's about being the aerial prowess. He already displayed it there, but it'd be good to see a few more closing case examples.
He's Matt Bagent, another really good bounce. Came to Archie Smith, wrapped up in a Bonner tackle. Umpire let play go on. Keys used his body nicely. Flicks the handball back to Lyons. Lyons inside 50. Beautiful drop punt. Spoiled away down there. Giants defence did well. Cedric Cox ducking, weaving. Nice handball out wide. The chance here is still Fullerton. The big fellow will have to go over and bend to pick it up. Jimmy the Jet had other ideas. Just picked it up, banged it out of defence for the Giants. Bit of a torpedo punt kick to the wing. Overrunning it was Nick Murray, the dual goal kicker in this quarter. Kick 3 for the afternoon. Kick goes out wide to Cox. So Cox marks for the Lions. Chance to slow things down. Archie Smith runs towards the goal square. He's a weapon up forward as well. Kicks in that direction now. Big fly from behind. Front and centre. Lions with numbers. Handball came to Bastanak. Back again to Lions. Standing in a paddock. Drop punt through the left-hand side of the big stick. And it's a behind.
Bit of a shame there from Lyon. He had a fair bit of time there, could have composed himself, but just didn't quite pay off for him. No, he'll bounce back. He's having a bit, I guess he's getting so used to clearances, he's forgetting how to aim them. So a chance to work their way out here, the Giants. Ball in the hands of Buntine. All the experience you can count on. A little bit of a hit and hope there. That's done well from Coleman. Coleman's given it to Ben Keys, and he's put on the left. Matheson underneath this, but that'll just be punched away ever so delicately from Matty Buntine. Still a bit of a threat to deal with here from the Giants, but certainly a great start from them. After going down, losing the first goal in this quarter, to respond with a couple of their own. Always a nice little touch. So let's see how they quell here the defence. Can they re-establish their line and see them out? Bonner underneath that has no other choice but to hit it towards touch. What do the umpires say? They'll just
throw it in.
Yeah, no problem.
No issue with that. Perhaps looking for check out Chick Briggsy up the ground a little bit further. So let's have a look here how the Giants set up here. They've got a empty forward 50, so obviously they want that quick break and their forwards to run into space. It's one-on-ones right around the ground. Tossed in, Flynn and Smith. Smith won it down to Lyons. He's really coming into this game in this third quarter. High up and under inside 50. Steen got the fist away. Lyons again following on his kick. Got the handball there to Smith. Came back to Bastanak through traffic. Really nice on the right boot to Fullerton. That was real classy stuff from the Brisbane Lions through half forward, led by Corey Lyons.
I think he's gotten, 4 or 5 clearances for the quarter already, Corey Lyons, as he makes his way off for a well-earned spell.
29 touches, 2 tackles, 5 marks It's in the hands of Fullerton, who's at the other end of the stat sheet. Chance to kick his first goal for today. It's really a straight kick, just a matter of distance and lining up the accuracy, and that one misses to the left. So a sigh of relief for the Giants.
So what can Connor Iden do here with the ball? Can they find a teammate and tic-tac their way up the ground, or is it going to need a bit more of a run and carry style scenario? He just goes long. This contest has been so heavy all day. There's a lot of big bodies floating around these two sides, and each side probably struggling to take some big contested grabs.
So what do the Giants learn from this last stoppage with Lions? There's two players just free all on their own. Saw a stoppage here moments ago. Shipley coming off the bench. Briggs doing the ruck work on this occasion. Won it down looking for Shipley. Came to Addison. Wrapped up in a tackle. Ball spilled free. Tackling was good on Smith. Came the way of Reece Matheson. Eventually goes out wide. Bastanak was good. Had a running player there. McFadgen kept going. There did Louis Taylor. Handball inboard was good. They're just handballing, looking for some space. Shipley wraps up Allison. Great tackle. Ran out of space. Pressure was really good from the Giants, and they'll get a stoppage at half back.
Nice bit of intent there from the Lions. Louis Taylor, they managed to close down his space there and force him into a bit of a wayward ball. Kieran Briggs doing well with the one-on-one against Fullerton, the bigger of the two bodies. Who can clear it out, or a bit of a fall down to the ground from Bartholomeus. This has been put away. Shipley lets that one go. There's a good little knock around from Belbasis, but it's been picked up pretty well from Coleman. So Coleman decides to leave his teammate and just say, you know what, this will be better going inside 50, and inside 50 it goes. Looking on the big end of the screen there, can someone come through and crumb it out? No, they're going to try and run this one out. Belbasis again. Quick hands, they were practicing this in the warm-up, and it seems to have paid off for them in the small account there. Great pick up there.
Good tackle.
A struggling run here. Bobby Hill, can he get moving and going? Holding the football. Turnover, Nick Murray.
So the dual goal kicker for the quarter. Kicked 3 on the afternoon. Goes long up the wing, and that one will just skid after it's out on the full. And Eagles will take the free kick. That's Matt Eagles, of course. It's a real arm wrestle in this third quarter. Hopefully you're enjoying it on NEAFL TV. Can the Giants cause one of the great upsets in not only this season, you'd argue the history of the comp, as Briggs flew from behind and the umpire says, yeah, that's stuck. Probably the best mark we've seen of the day for the big flyer. The checkout chick from Pennant Hills. Kieran Briggs has a look up the ground. Called to go now. A driving drop punt. Good fly there from Nick Murray. Geez, he's stood up in this third quarter. Has a look forward now. He's got Bobby Hill in the pocket. That's ignored. Eventually just goes hit and hope to a massive pack of players. There's a pride of Lions, and plucking it off the top of the pack. That's a really good mark taken by Jack Payne. Pretty quiet day so far. Goes out wide. Bastanak the target. Clean bowled. Took his leg stump, and it's on the full. It ricocheted off his back heel after a bit of a wrong-un. And the Giants go quickly. Short one to Bobby Hill, who's diving in the slip cord, and will go back 45-degree angle within his distance. I may have been up all night watching the Australia-South Africa one-dayer for the cricket analogies in there.
Really strong cricket analogies. I think everyone enjoyed that one. Didn't manage to mention classic catches in the pool, but sure that'll come out a bit later.
So Bobby Hill, real danger in front of goal, sucking in the big ones. On the cusp of an AFL debut, not quite this week. To give Giants 3 goals in a row in this third quarter. Drop punt on the way. He loves it, Bobby. The Giants have got the last 3 of this ball game, and suddenly we are back to a 29-point ball game. As the faux siren sounds again in this third quarter.
They're really enjoying that one today. It's silly buggers being played by the Giants. Maybe it is kids' day out here today, and perhaps it's the kids getting, you give a child a button, they're always going to push it.
Don't press the red button until the buzzer next to you buzzes. You mean this button? You
can picture it now. There it goes again, right on cue. They're listening. Cut that out. Young Petey, or whatever your name is.
Good crowd building for the AFL this afternoon, which should be another cracking game following on from this one, which the Giants have certainly come to play in this third quarter.
So driven into the turf and away it goes. That's a great little knockdown from Skinner, but can't be fished out quickly. Nick Shipley trying to get this one, but we'll just sit at the bottom of that pack. The crowd certainly is beginning to settle in for what's going to be a fight for third place in the AFL ladder. Should be a cracker to swap onto. I know Riley in the comments section is also a fellow Melbourne Demons fan. I understand we are winning at half-time, but this game at the moment taking Preetons. Oh, Shipley with a turn and go. There he is, Jimmy the Jet. And that's why they call him the Jet, because he's just spared away from Louis Taylor and put an absolute cracker onto a chest, but just could not be taken. Bit of a shame there, because it was just so well done there from Jackson Moen, just not quite grabbing onto that. Excellent spark there from the Giants, and they seem to have their tails up right now. They've kicked a few goals. They're starting to settle in. They've got another chance to attack here. Well done there. Shipley, Peatling, the usual suspects. Can he pick it up and go? Not quite. Shipley trying to just clear up the damage, but the Lions are beginning to circle. Bit of a pull away there and handball to the wrong teammate. But here they go again. It's just Lions everywhere.
There's a free kick for a hold here, and there's a pride of Lions. Geez, umpire's going to call it back, so perhaps a little bit thankful for the Giants. Corey Lyons wanted it out wide. Short one will go to Skinner. So chance now for the Lions just to slow the game down, get tempo back on their side, wear these young Giants down, but a poor kick. And the mark's taken from Buntine. Goes quickly to fresh legs in Flynn. He's had a packet of it this afternoon. Another man just really closing in on a chance at AFL level. Instead, geez, he went backwards, and that won't get you to AFL level as Connor Iden does to go and clean up for Big Matty Flynn. Transferring play across the side. It might work out okay as the short one comes back through the corridor. Lockie Squire, real good young player for GWS. One to look out for. He wants to transfer play. Connor Iden calls for it in the shadows of the Sydney Royal stand, kicking up the ground. It's a good one. So the Giants done this really well to get the footy to half forward. Waiting for it was Flynn. Chance for redemption for the big fella. Flicked it off by hand to Shipley. Shipley, wobbler inside 50. Will it stay in? No. And the Lions will have a chance to rebuild from the back pocket through Eagles.
Not quite the clinical touch needed there from the Giants. Matty Eagles. See whether he's got the clinical touch, trying to get their way out. And wow, he's just drilled that, hooked it out on the full. Hardly even went in ground.
So,
bit of a shame from him. I feel like I may have jinxed the poor guy.
Dylan Addison just didn't really want to take the free kick. So Aidan Bonner's going to have to give it to Dylan Addison.
Who didn't want it. So will he go for goal? It's a pretty acute angle here, and you'd say with the angle he's probably about 40 out.
Oldest man on the paddock this afternoon.
Previously retired, and now he's come back to help, and that one I think may have gone out in the full as well. So each team just trading blows of who can kick it out on the full.
It is an awkward shaped pocket at that end of the ground. Of course, this stadium used for the baseball and softball during the 2000 Olympic Games. Just remodelled. As it comes in short, the faux siren nearly got me on this occasion. Connor McFadden goes back to the reverse hot spot where Jacob Allison was waiting for it. Real danger spot for the Lions as they transfer play. Looking for Walker out wide. He's in the sunshine. Marks cleanly. Has a look forward. Keys provides a lead. That's ignored. Revel 2. Goes Revel's direction now. One out. Comes from behind Revel. Plucks it off the top. Really good mark. So has a look forward. Comes back inboard. Risky kick. Joyce is there. He's quietened down a little bit in this third quarter. Now getting his hands on it. Goes out wide to the half-forward flank where he finds the man who's got leather poisoning today, Corey Lyons. This will be about his 30th possession. Goes to the pocket. Fire from Skinner, rather. And it goes out of play in front of Keys.
Matty Flynn making that fly from Skinner. So difficult, just throwing his large frame into the midst there. So always good to see that. And their intent is still alive and well. Can they get out of danger here, the Giants, or can the Lions really stamp their authority on this match? Awkward attempt of a clearance made there from Iden. Can't be played away. It's put into open space there, but no one's been able to pick it up cleanly. Try and grab it cleanly, go the Lions at this point here, but Nick Shipley's just going to delicately pick this up and chip it into some space, but he's got pressure there. Louis Taylor, it's been kicked off his shin. I think the umpires will not mind that one, and they'll decide to throw it in.
Like Shipley there, just a bit of pace across the full back line and short little chip up, hit up kind of kick for Adam Dunkley, who we saw kick his first goal in the NEAFL in his first game today.
It's been good, Dunkley. A few of the young players of the Giants have had to stand up today, and they are so far. Nick Murray being one of them, kicking 3 goals, and Dunkley, of course, chipping in with a few touches and tackles, and, of course, the goal himself. So let's see what else they can do here. Flynn's managed to get the tap down. Bonner won't see that one coming out. Instead, it's Smith who does, and a real good little snap there from Matheson, but that'll just fade away to the far left-hand side. Still a great chance here for the Lions. Their chance to get on the goal-scoring sheet once again.
Tell you what, just be looking out for your Ben Keys out the back. Smith is lurking as well as Shipley finds him. Corey Lyons as well. Bastanak fresh legs on. He's got no man on him as it's tossed in. Fullerton won this one, bobbling around, handballing into space. Lyons under immense pressure from the Giants. Here's Brown. He can break lines. Short handball was good. Eventually the kick came out from Moen to halfback. Bouncing ball. Tough one for Coleman for the Lions. He'll go back via hand. Risky kind of business. Moen just following up his good work. Ben Keys too. So he'll transfer play to Allison. Right on centre wing, bathed in sunshine here at Giants Stadium. Has a look forward, slowing things down. Real smart play. Comes out to Starcevic. Bit of a quieter game for him this afternoon as his drop bunt goes inboard. Big fly, Brown! Is it paid? It is. The Irishman from a mile back, Callum Brown, takes a big hang. Critical mark as well in the context of the forward press from the Lions. And he goes back to Buntine.
So Buntine with a bit of an awkward spot here. He's called to play on, and instead a nice easy play will be put into the chest of Nick Shipley. Shipley having a search of the ground. What can he make of this? Can they get him to go forward and really take this game on, make a statement? Kick's gone a little bit too far. It's here on the ground. Ben Keys there lurking around, just being a nuisance. Goes inside, Coleman. Gives a short handball off. There's a man in the middle there, but Lyons ignores. And instead they just play forward, and there it goes. Archie Smith, he'll hold it up. He's right in the centre of the ground. Goes back to another man in Smith. Eli, Fullerton using that large frame. The athlete, the ex-basketballer. Don't they love mentioning that? If you've got a basketballing background in the AFL, boy, does that get mentioned. He just sends it long and far. I'm no exception to that rule. Look at that fly. Wonderful. Reece Matheson. He'll have a chance of goal. Leaves the ball behind. Says, someone else get me that. I've earned this. Cracking just found himself in front of the pack. So many players and just came across the side of it, and almost Leo buried it. Just not quite the same circumstance.
Little less pressure and a couple less people watching. 19 touches, 2 goals today for Matheson.
Only a couple, but equally vocal crowd. Just more in the comments section than in the crowd. Kicks on its way. Reece Matheson looks like it's going to fade away to the left-hand side, and it does. So that ticks the line score over the 40, but it's now the margin into 30 points. One of the lower margins of this match.
The Lions, they got out to a 31-point lead at quarter time, and it's really just been around that mark. Big long kick, big fly from the side. Geez, we've seen some high flying today, this time by Jack Payne. So Payne has a look forward, goes to the pocket to where it came from the side. Good punch there from Steen. Ball bubbles around. Chance here for the Giants to clear again. Big one. Big fly, Murray! Not on this occasion, young man. Unrealistic attempt.
Oh, no, he's got the free.
He's got the free for a bit of a push. So
they've rewarded his efforts.
So I think the free kick is going to come back. So while Murray was in the air and he was above our heads, it's going to have to come back to his teammate there, and Connor Iden. So Connor Iden has a look forward. He's got a wall of Giants just kind of waiting and just chips it over the wall where he had a teammate there in Lucas Conlon. Impressive earlier this season in the NAB League where he snagged 7 in 5 games. To the pocket, bit of a push out, and it is paid to Bobby. The showman just Milked that for all it was worth. 2 hands in the back. Free kick every day of the week. Just made sure the umpires knew about it. In front of the Giants coaching staff, Bobby Hill plays on from the pocket. Drop punt. Yes! Turns to the coaches, gives them a bow. And the Giants are kicked 4 in a row.
There is a reason we call him the showman. It's for goals like that and celebrations like that too.
The awareness of the young man, just no one on the mark. The coaches are behind me. I was just about selected in the AFL this week. Maybe they need to see a bit of magic from the pocket, and Bobby delivers.
Bit of a drop punt this time. Maybe that's the difference. I like that. Hopefully the viewers like that. If you like that, give it a shout out. Even if you're a Lions supporter, you'd appreciate a goal and celebration like that.
Hard not to like it. And once again, the context of this game, back to 24 points, Will, 4-goal ball game.
Premiership quarter.
The young Giants have stood up.
I'm waiting for a faux buzzer to come any moment now. I think they won't do it because we're about 25 and a half minutes gone in this quarter. That was real smart stuff from Bobby Hill. So driven into the turf, Archie Smith flies, but does manage to pick it up on the second bobble. Bit of a mix-up here in the middle. Really hard to come away with this one. But there he is. Bonner. He's done so well all day. Geez, crunching tackle. Real good bit of physicality in this one. Torpedo skies someone. Bobby on cue. What can he do inside the Bonner? Bit of pressure there. Bastanak gives it off. Chance here for Moen. Moen on the left foot. Awkward looking kick. Oh. And it's hit the post. Huge sigh from the crowd. But now they trail by 23. And they go very, very quickly here to Jack Payne.
So Payne, half-back flank for the Lions. The momentum with the Giants at the moment, dominating this third quarter. Though there's players in the middle lining up for the Lions. Can take a bounce, Starcevic, elects not to. Looking for Cox up forward. Got it off his shins, did Cedric Cox. Kept it in front of him, kept his feet well, but the pressure was too good from the young Giants. Here's the boxer, Caldwell. Does a bit of a cartwheel too. Back to Flynn. Flynn through traffic. Interesting choice. Caldwell charging through. Handball out. Looking for his mate Shipley. Ducking and weaving. Really smart. Came out to the decathlete there in Steen. Out wide was good to Jimmy the Jet. So James Peatling, fresh off Allies duties in the under-18s last weekend. Included a best on 2. Weighs up the situation, then put it on his right boot. Long and high to half forward. 2-on-3 situation. Big fly. Connor Iden handballing out to space. And there's a whistle, which is the boundary umpire, which happens in these circumstances, and it will be tossed in. Oh, bit of push and shove off the ball, Eagles and Iden.
It's the battle of the dreadlocks, that one. How exciting.
Yes.
And they're really giving themselves something to think about. So in it goes. Smith gets the tap down, but can't be cleared away. Jeez, big hit. The umpires are going to have to get involved here. This one could get nasty. Starting to get some feeling, and then we say it every week. We love to see a bit of feeling. So Wilson Mudge turns. He's got a kick over a very large target. There's Matty Eagles. Gee, big fist. Not sure whether he was aiming for the ball or someone's head. It's getting that heated out there on the ground.
So Eagles and Dylan Addison, 2 of the more experienced campaigners on the paddock today. Connor Iden too.
But still an excellent chance here for the Giants, who you still feel have all the momentum in this one.
Geez, Starcevic is not giving Bobby Hill an inch of space.
Don't let him move. Don't let him out of your sights. Don't blame the guy. Trying to take the mark there was Wooler. Cox gets the clearance away. There's someone from behind. Breg G tries to get involved, but no, it's a terrific mark from Fullerton. So he hands the ball back. Buntine's there. So Fullerton will just go laterally. And not a bad, simple, easy mark there. So what can Connor McFadden do? He's absolute lightning over 20 metres, McFadden. They just give it off and just saying, just slow things down. Let's just settle. No need to get ahead of ourselves. Wooler goes inside. Simple play, back to Fullerton. So Fullerton having a look up. Where can they go? The Giants just locking down their opposite men. Squire underneath it, but the much bigger body in Archie Smith just comes over the top, towers over the young man. You wouldn't feel too upset having him take one over the top of you. It's a bit of a mismatch contest. Another fly there from Cox, but he let that one go, trying to thrash his way out of the pack. Like a rodeo bull. He's not going to get very far with pressure like this.
Half forward for the Lions. The Giants have kicked 4 goals to 1 in this quarter. They're on the charge. Bastanak could have copped one in the back. Ben Keys sliding through. Got a handball out. Smith was there. Out to Wooler. Wooler wrapped up. Starcevic waiting. Selling candy. Could have been holding the ball. Bobby Hill, he's lurking. Tackling hard. Here's the boxer Caldwell. Ducking and weaving. Smith, Lions with numbers. Half forward. Cedric Cox just weighs up the situation. Out wide. Fullerton and Briggs. Briggs charges through. Free kick Lions. Rightfully so.
He dropped his body there, Fullerton. Briggs really just sent his knees driving straight through the shoulder and head area. Not overly wise, but you also understand wanting to win that physical contest there.
And that's it. He was playing the footy, so a pretty fair kind of contest. And thankfully for him, the Lions got up. So a chance to just steady things up for Brisbane. Begins his approach. Drop punt on the way from Fullerton is very good. He's kicked one straight, and the Lions are steadier that they really, really needed. They've got it. And we're back to 29 points here at Giants Stadium. 30 minutes gone, third quarter. Hopefully you're enjoying this on NEAFL TV. What a great quarter from the Giants. Do you think they can win? Let us know in the comments section how the Bintang's going as well.
You haven't heard from him for a while. Old Cam Middleton. Out at Legian. Sheppy's Bar.
And Bali, how nice would that be right now? Middle of winter here in Australia.
Well, it'd probably be a similar day to this, just a bit warmer.
Couple of degrees.
Just a couple. You can't complain, though, out here in Sydney. It's supposed to be winter. It's an absolute screamer. So it's just going to be thrown up delicately. One down nicely by the Giants. Squire tried to get it away, but instead the boxer sends it across his body. Not a hook, though. It was a kick. Here's Bobby Hill. Tries to dance his way out, but they're all over him. Is it going to be in the back? Umpire doesn't seem to think it was too bad.
I can opt to be pinged as well, taking the tackler on there, Bobby. One each way, perhaps. Tossed up, half forward for the Giants. Can they get the quick reply late in this third quarter? Up and down it goes. Skinner charging through like a bull in a China store. Umpire said didn't charge far enough, and we'll toss it up once again. So probably less than a minute to go. Was that a faux siren? I think so. Or was it the real thing? 31 and a half gone, third quarter. Tossed up, Giants in attack. Lions ruckman did well. Ball bouncing around there. Waiting out the back was Tom Berry. Goes to half forward, high, long one. I think it's Wooler underneath. Really good work from the Giants. Came out to Steen. Steen on his left boot, round the body, just into space. Bouncing ball. Lions have numbers here, but the Giants have the determination. Could have been in the back. Umpire called play on. And we're going to have the footy tossed up. Centre wing, how good's the crowd building for the senior game? How good's that retro jumper in the crowd behind the stoppage? The old Brisbane Bears.
Well, that is a screamer. Wasn't focusing on the play, I was looking for the jumper. But instead it's been knocked out here and a few lines encircling there. Right on cue they go. Little chip forward directly into the path of Smith, and he's just been so good all day creating that large target up forward. And that is the real siren this time, after about 6 faux sirens. So it's going to be a kick after the real siren to take their score potentially out to 82 and extend their margin to 35 points. Let's see what he can make of it, Archie Smith. It's on the sheet today already. Kicks on its way, and he's happy with that. Gets the 5, no problem. Great way to finish off the quarter. Bit of a shame for the Giants, who made a solid charge early on, but it's going to be the Lions here by 35 points at Giants Stadium. Hope you're enjoying this one. We'll be back for the final quarter.
35-point ball game here at Giant Stadium. Players from both sides starting to make their way back to position. Hopefully you're enjoying this one on NEAFL TV. Geez, the Giants made a real run at it that quarter, kicking it 4 goals to 3. Unfortunately for them, the ladder leading Lions kicked the last 2 of the quarter to take it out to 35 points. I'm Eddie Summerfield, joining commentary by Will Jackson this afternoon. Big last quarter coming up, Will.
Oh, absolutely massive last quarter. If the Giants can get onto a really quick roll, maybe they can make a push for it. Who knows? But you think the experience of the Lions here would show and they'd go on to win this, but anything's possible out here, playing at their home ground of Giants Stadium, and should be a cracker to watch.
Hopefully you're enjoying this one on NEAFL TV, wherever you're watching. Thanks to our broadcast partners, Bar TV. Catherine Oliver enjoying this one, I see, on the YouTube. It's the Lions to the right-hand side of your screen. Can they defend a 35-point lead? We'll find out in half an hour. Here's Will Jackson.
Smashed into the turf up nice and high. Try and get in the front on position there. Cox lets it spilt out. Bastanak gets a knock around there, and running into a bit of space here's Matheson. All good looking handball, but gathered nicely by Cedric Cox. He'll put onto the right boot. Coming across there, take the mark. Not quite with Smith. And it's going to be thrown in.
Steen saw him coming and thought, I'm not going to commit myself to that one.
No thanks, not to the flight. Likely going out of bounds, and it did exactly that. But throwing inbounds it goes this time. Smith using his physical prowess to shove them aside. Lions inside 50 for him. Keep him coming. That's been smothered nicely by Jimmy the Jet. Briggs under enormous pressure down back. And it's still getting ripped apart on the ground there. There's Smith trying to get up and go. But it's not going to go a whole lot further. And instead we're going to have a ball up in a dangerous position here for the Giants early in this final term.
So you think a goal here to the Lions just about buries any chances for the Giants. Let's find out. Came out the way, Lions. Good tackling pressure. Matheson there too. Smith lurking round the body. Snap at goal is a point. Real quick ball movement there for the Lions. It was Smith charging through as Steen brings the footy back in play to the pocket. Peatling wanted it short, but Adam Dunkley on debut. Very composed performer. Goes long to half-back. 3-on-2 situation. Lions with numbers. Bounce back to Cedric Cox. Goes forward via hand. Why not two? They've got players lining up. Pushed off the footy with Sam Skinner. Cox just kept his feet. Did well. Goes to the hot spot. Beautiful kick. Skinner's there, actually. Ball came to ground level. Charging through Lions with numbers. But Steen composed again. But Allison should mark and does at half forward for Brisbane. Good crowd in the house, waiting for the AFL later on as Allison plays on. Goes to the hot spot. Brown will fly. Briggsy got the big punch away. Came out the way of Lions, leading possession getter. Won't add to that tally there as Steen just pushes him over the boundary line as easy as you like. Sad to see in front of us, Will, that Mitch Hinge just back on crutches, coming back towards the bench for Brisbane. Went off late in that second quarter with what we thought may have been a calf or a hamstring injury. Play goes on. Ball came out the way. Bit of a push and shove. Brown was good. At ground level. Snap out of there came from Briggs out wide. And Allison, bit of deja vu, marks it half forward.
So Allison here with the chance to go inside. Takes a look. There's just so many plays in the pack here. Can anyone get onto the end of it? Not quite. A couple of second efforts there, but it's just going to roll towards the edge, and again, taken out of bounds was Lions. Gives the shrug.
Yeah.
I know someone in the comments was asking about the emergencies. I know the Giants, their emergency of James Pope was replaced by Isaac Bartholomaeus. Brisbane, on the other hand, went in unchanged.
So that should mean Marcus Adams is playing for the Lions in the AFL this afternoon, although I haven't confirmed those teams. As snap at goal from Tom Berry. Just rushed his kick and it goes through for a behind. So you'd think Marcus Adams playing his first or second game for the Lions at AFL level.
With his level of experience, you
saw him a couple of weeks ago. Very good against Sydney Uni in the NEAFL and that big win that we've spoken about twice today as the kick comes in. Now, did he leave the goal square there and play on? Must have, because it's going to be tossed in. So with the new rule, you've just got to leave the goal square and it's play on, whereas if you'd kicked it from the goal square and it had gone out without anyone touching it, it's the equivalent of on the full, so the free kick would have gone the way of the Lions. As Flynn won that one down. Handball came out the way of Bastanak, round the body. Bit of a floater inside 50. Easy as you like for Callum Brown. High flying before, breaking lines before that, and that time just floats into his big mitts, the Irishman, long to the wing. Nick Murray's there. He's a frequent flyer too. Eagles from behind came out to Starcevic. Through traffic, that was nice. Right foot, drop punt, inside 50. Brown will fly again, punched away from him. And toss in, Lions in attack. Leading this one reasonably comprehensively.
Yeah, the margin got pushed out towards the end. Giants making a bit of a charge in that third quarter, but I mean, Eddie, I hate telling you that you're right, but once again, the last 10 minutes, the Lions just jumped up as the legs got tied.
You keep telling me that all day.
It's music to his ears. And music to no one's ears is Allison knocking that one forward. Playing on again here. Good little handball out the back by Berry, but he's got company by way of Nick Shipley, and joining there in a bit of a group tackle there was a couple of teammates. Kane Flack got involved. Good to see him out there. Bobby Hill's just made his way to the bench, and then he's just ran straight back on.
I've had my rest. Straight back to it. Ball goes on.
Does everything quickly, Bobby Hill, including rests.
And he'll come off for a proper rest this time as Isaac Bartholomew says, oh yeah, it's my turn to go back on. A couple of other academy guys too. Lockie Squire replaces Cordwell, the boxer from Central Victoria, as the footy's tossed in. Wing position. Flynn from behind. Smith was good. He's probably won that duel this afternoon. Bonner got a handball, been handy as well. Flynn at ground level, one of the Giants' best. Wrapped up in a Starcevic tackle. It was Addison or Steen with those flowing locks.
Thought might have been Addison, the ex-retiree.
Second game for the Giants this year in the NEAFL. Ex-retiree. I like that.
The ex-retiree. Well, he has burst back onto the scene now this year for the Giants. It was Harry Grant underneath that.
Former Bulldog, of course, before making his way north of the Murray to his home city.
That's right. He's originally from Picnic Point, southwestern Sydney. So somewhat local talent. Played around a bit in Campbell. Went to school in Campbelltown. So definitely knows his way around Western Sydney. He'd feel nice and at home at this ground here today.
There's another Western Sydney product in front of that. Nick Shipley. I think he's from the Campbelltown kind of area as the kick came out wide. Louis Taylor and Shipley. His boot was last to it. Now, is that a free kick the way of the Giants just for a frustrating kick into the bench of the ball? Apparently not.
Reece Matheson does tend to wear his emotions on his sleeves as he goes about his business. He's been pretty strong today. And strong in the contest there was Smith. Bobbing up, trying to get his hands on it with Squire, but just bursting out of the back there was Tom Berry. Puts it over, but Kieran Briggs should see an end to that, using that frame against Skinner. And his 50's given as well, overrunning the mark. So he had to make his way out of the pack there. And where's his 50? The umpire's just willing his way forward. Keep it coming. Briggsy just chips it forward straight down the throat and into the middle. So turning and having a look here. Chance to go forward and get their first real attacking chance of the game here, the Giants. Left foot inside 50. It's just an uncontested, easy as you like. Straight to the Giants in Jack Payne. He'll go laterally by foot to Keys. Keys divs it off by hand, and a little legger is pushed forward to Bastanak. So Bastanak having a look around, and he'll go laterally. Oh, a little bit insulting, but that's okay. Lions taking this, goes laterally again. A little bit of a look up here. What can he make of it, Matheson? Less frustrated that time, out to Payne. Few men leading forward, and a couple of big guys in the pack. Under that's Fullerton. Can't there, but around the back's taken. Wonderful looking mark here. And he'll line up for his set shot at goal. There's an excellent mark coming across the face, Sam Skinner.
How good's the composure been of the Lions in this final quarter? Just waiting for the right option. Happy to slow down. There's the faux siren again. Saw a few comments about that today. It is Kids' Day here at Giants Stadium, although not suggesting that there might be a child just playing with buttons in the timekeeper's box.
It's the only logical explanation of it. Sam Skinner's kick fades pretty hard over to the left-hand side. Good to see Sam Skinner back in. He had his third knee reconstruction last year. So the fact that he's come back from that is a pretty big testament to his character and his work rate.
So just had confirmed Adams is in the senior side. Nick Robertson, one of the emergencies, saw him a couple of weeks ago for the Lions at the Bisp as Flynn used his body well in that rucking contest. Got a kick to half forward. Bit of holding on Iden. Umpire said, nope, mark to the Lions. So the Lions through Starcevic. He's come into the game a bit in this second half after a slow start. Kick to half forward's a good one. Off hands, Fullerton. Where's your crummers? Peatling was there. Good tackling from the Giants defenders. And it will be tossed up at half forward.
Bit of a slower feeling in this quarter, Eddie, as Lions look to just strangle the Giants out of this game and just see an end to it. Ball's gone up in the air. Here's a bit of a burst on the pack. Oh, wow. It just came awkwardly off the side of the boot. It was a great chance to score for Matheson. But instead, it's going to be a ball up.
Cam Middleton really enjoying himself. Another Bintang. Lions looking like a win. Life is good in Bali. Good to hear, Cam. Hopefully you enjoyed the game today.
He's kept a very steady pace, Cam Middleton, all day. So hopefully he makes it home okay from the Sheppy Bar in Legian.
So tossed in, Lions in attack. Skinner and Flynn to do the ruck work. Skinner won that one down. Ball at ground level. Lions with numbers. Bastanak lurking, but Bonner, geez, that was really good. Flicked the handball off. Short little driller was good. Bartholomeus with it. First game in the NEAFL today. Late inclusion for the Giants. Goes up the wing to a contest. Drilling kick, and Eagles quite happy to just see it fisted over the line where it will be tossed in. And no late changes for either side in the seniors too, so they'll be as selected late on Friday. Tossed in. Flynn got to the front spot. Fullerton perhaps got a hand to it first. He done well there, Fullerton, to follow it up. Berry did too off the ground. Few calling for him to be in the senior side. Although it's the Giants with numbers. Shipley, handball was good. Faux siren got me there. And Isaac coming out wide to the running Bonner. Bonner inside 50. Ripping kick. Connor Iden on the lead. Hit him on the chest. And he'll go back. Named to start in the ruck today, the big fella. It's pushed forward. Just a pretty standard Connor kind of Iden kind of game today. It's marked well, presented well.
Good seeing his matchup on Matty Eagles. As I said, the battle of the dreadlocks.
So, what will be the first goal of this final quarter? Connor Iden begins his approach from outside 50. Booming, drop punt on the way. He's got it. So, bit of life still in this Giants side midway through the final quarter. Connor Iden drills his first. And we're back to that pesky margin that we've had seemingly all day, Will Jackson, of 31 points.
Big 31 points. Excellent strike there from Connor Iden. Good of them to respond. You know, midway, how far are we in? About 12 minutes gone in this quarter. There's still a bit of time left. You're probably playing for pride at this point, unless you can get quite a few, you have to get a few quick goals. And they're a bit hard to come by at the moment because the Lions midfield have just been so relentless out in the middle.
Really dominant, haven't they?
Haven't let their opposite men out of their sight. Been really irritating. Like when your mum says, take your little brother to the shops and he just does not leave you alone.
Nothing worse.
Tap down, played forward. Can they get it out of here? It was very quickly wrapped up, as we said. That time by Caldwell, the boxer, as we've dubbed him. It's got a nice ring to it. There goes Bastanak onto his right. Jimmy the Jet underneath it. Wraps it in over Tom Berry. So he'll just go laterally onto the running and moving go. By foot goes Buntine, and the aerial prowess. Eagles and Cox give him a bit of a bump and a chance for Toby Wooler to turn the salt here. Cox will keep running. Can you chip it over the top? Sam Skinner, no, he slows down. Eventually gets it out to Cox. Falls probably a bit shorter than he would have liked. Nick Shipley on the mark. Seeing if he can get in the way of this one. Cox usually so terrific in pointing out a teammate. Big double fister there. Bastanak, geez, cleaned up by a strong boxer tackle. A real grip. And playing to the path here of the ex-veteran. Oh, Eagles just uses his athleticism to go around him. He's continued his run and he's gone too far. No, he's took everything.
Reality TV star just rocked it for a bit too long. Nick Murray there just coming to the bench for the Giants from that marking contest on the wing. before, just sucking in a couple of big ones. Looks to be okay. So the Giants half forward. The Eagles ran too far. Adam Dunkley on debut, long kick, big fly from Iden, ball off hands out the back, came to Coleman, impressive academy player for the Lions. Bit of a chipper from Allison up high. Briggsy stood his ground underneath it, did well. Dunkley there, following his kick nicely. There's the veteran Addison, didn't have the footy, umpire blindsided. Briggs' handball to Shipley, this time it hit him. Fullerton kicks it to me in the crowd. And I'll spill the simplest of chest marks and it will be a free kick to the Giants.
Simple turnover kick there. Allison, I think he had a little bit more time than he thought he did. He saw someone in his peripherals and just awkwardly slapped it away. You can imagine with some of the hits we've seen out there today, you probably wouldn't want to take the risk at this point. So, ball in hand to Dunkley. It's a good looking kick, but there's a pretty large fly, but the punch is made by Fullerton, spoiling Jack Payne's party.
Tell you what, if I was Adam Dunkley, I'd be pretty happy with my day out today. 9 possessions, a goal, 5 kicks, 2 tackles. Really impressive stuff for the youngster. Playing for Eastern Suburbs. Toss in, half forward for the Giants. Can they steal another one here? Footy came out the way of Smith. Handball was good as he was wrapped up in a Briggs tackle. Bit of wrestling going on in the foreground. Fullerton tackling in the background where the footy is, and it will be tossed up. Smith and Briggsy, I wonder if their paths crossed in the Giants Academy coming through. As Fullerton beat this one down, came to Bonner, and it will be tossed up. Briggs nominates quickly, umpire wanting to get things underway. Briggs' second effort was good, cut off though. Allison, booming kick. Lions there, Buntine too, back with the fight. Skinner was good, Lions front and centre, didn't bounce his way. Nick Murray wrapped up in another tackle. Buntine got it to Steen, holding. Free kick will go the way of the young man.
Big tackle from Skinner there. Really drilled him into the turf, probably a bit unnecessarily, but you've got to make those ones count when they expose the ribs like that. Jimmy the Jet Peatling, ball in hand. Oh, across goes Louis Taylor. You'd think he wanted to play on there and go, but he just lost his footing. Decides to go out towards the pocket of Bastanak, but he hasn't been able to clean up and mop that one up. Instead, it'll go into the hands of the umpire for a ball in.
I like Jimmy the Jet's idea then. Go to the corridor, try and get play moving quickly. He's a spearing kick, but geez, it was well marked by Louis Taylor, wasn't it?
He really wanted to burst out of the blocks there, Taylor. That banana peel that was dropped in front of him, just causing him to slip over. So coming out there's Bell Bases. He's been caught from behind. Eagles with a chance to fire inside with the most awkward looking torp, which hits, looks like Nick Murray on the chest.
Best thing about kicking a torp, they're very hard to mark if you're on the receiving end.
So difficult. Even when it hits you on the chest, it just bounces off the sternum. Probably wins you for your efforts as well. See how he recovers. I'm sure he'll be okay. Long ball in. Chance here. Briggs in front position. Chance for a snap from the impossible angle. Reece Matheson. He's kicked that one. He's going to like that one. Sensational from Reece Matheson midway through this final term. The impossible angle doesn't even drop us a shotgun, but he should be very happy himself for that. Terrific around the body. I don't think anyone even expected him to go for that goal. Instead, he just slots it.
Just floated through nicely, didn't it? Made a good, sweet connection that enabled the footy just to go up and float through. That was a real ripper, wasn't it? Pushed after he kicked it. And it's kicked a goal. It should really, if the Giants were any chance, end that discussion.
Which is a shame because the Lions have bought the fight, but it was that first quarter. Wouldn't be surprised if the game ended with a 31-point margin as it has been for a lot of the game.
6-1 first quarter, and geez, the Giants had a few opportunities there. Ball bounced back in the middle. Briggs won that one down. Bonner wrapped up in a tackle before he got it, arguably, but he got his kick to half forward. Bouncing ball. Good pick up there from Brucey Revel. Bounced off the chest of Coleman. Did well to pick it back up. Looked over Revel's head. Eventually it goes out wide and Revel gets it. So round the body to half back for the Lions. Bouncing ball. Came the way of the Lions, who just marched the footy up the ground, eventually to that man in Lions. Drilling kick to half forward, marked by Keys. Called to play on now, stepped off his line, goes to the hot spot, one-on-one. good looking kick. Steen did well. Murray as well, off hands. No mark paid. Steen doing the sweeping up work for the Giants. Ball punched away there. Lions pressure really good at half forward. Aidan Bonner thereabouts. Buntine good at ground level, out the way of Jimmy the Jet. Couldn't quite pick this one up, and did so because he kept his feet, and he was wrapped up as he picked it up on the second attempt, and it will be tossed in.
Real hectic bit of play out in the middle there.
So Corey Lyons, 35 possessions today, Will Jackson. Very, very good. 36, in fact. Bastanak, 28. Allison, 27. Matheson, 24, and 3 goals.
And there's a little hit-out number there for Archie Smith. Louis Taylor's done so well here. Puts a little small, easy one to the path of Fullerton. Fullerton's got a wonderful kicking action. He's missed a couple today, but typically such a great kick at the football. He'll have to kick this from about 50 metres if he's going to get over the mark. So he starts his run. Gets just over the 50-metre mark. The kick's on its way, but it's gone away to the left-hand side, taking them out to 91 points. Margin just under 40. 38 points we're looking at.
As we've alluded to, this quarter doesn't really reflect the effort the Giants have put in today, as it comes short to Murray. Really impressive game from him through midfield. Geez, what a spearing kick, and Mark Moen goes along to Caldwell. Inside 50, foot race on. Brown leads it. He's really quick. Callum Brown took a hanger before, snapping around his body, and that will miss to the right-hand side. Would have liked to see him take on Eagles, because he can run and carry the footy, can the Irishman. As the Lions bring the footy in, marked there by Eli Smith. Has a look forward as the clock ticks over into time on. Bounces in front of Archie Smith. Did well, the ruckman. Just hanging out. Cox gets it. Bit of volleyball work. Really neat stuff. Fullerton through midfield. It'll bounce up into the hands of the running Bastanak from 50. Good looking kick to the tip of the goal square. Buntine won't get there. And Ben Keys will go back and kick the easiest of goals.
How about the transition stuff there from the Lions? They're so good at that. They run and carry through the middle. They're slick skills. And then Keys, one of their best.
Kicks his second of the day. And as you say there, Will, the transition of the Lions that we've seen so many times this season in the NEAFL, but I really feel like the pressure of the Giants today has meant we haven't seen the Lions with their free-flowing, free-running kind of possession sort of play.
Giants have to be commended for absolutely quelling that and probably not giving the Lions as much time as they usually create for themselves.
But you look at the tackle count today, 78 to 62. I know if you're second to the ball a lot, you're going to be laying more tackles, but the fact they've been sticking them and the pressures there, particularly from the young guys there, Lockie Squire, he's been absolutely outstanding. 12 tackles today. Nick Shipley's had 9. The boxer, Caldwell, he's had 6. So those kind of guys leading the way.
Knocked into the turf. Up, Smith takes it down. Berry underneath that. Immediately pulled up by the umpires. Give me that one. But actually says, Tom Berry, you know what? You have it. You play on. You do what you want with it. And he decides to go by right foot. Long, good-looking kick just over the top of Shipley there. Shipley decides to gather it, though, and there goes the boxer, Caldwell. Sends it long down, but it just hits Jacob Allison on the stretch. So he just goes for a wheel and bend. Doesn't overtake his 15 metres, and simply into the chest of Cox. So now they're starting to open up time, and just sitting all alone there is Louis Taylor. He could almost turn around and run into the goal square, but he's not that silly. He'll do the sensible route and turn around, pull up his socks and line up the attempted goal. And you can just say, again, hate saying that you're right here, Eddie, but these last 10 minutes, the legs are starting to get tired. The AFL standard is sinking in for the Lions players, and they're just going to find themselves a little bit exposed. And I think a 50 metres being given here as Taylor just trots towards the top of the goal square to dink this one straight over the goal umpire's hat, and does exactly that. Another goal for the Lions and taking them past the century. Eddie, you've been watching plenty of cricket.
Raise the bat.
Raise the bat and helmet. They're up to 103 now.
Geez, I tell you what, watching plenty of the AFL this weekend, not too many centuries scored at all.
No, I was having that discussion. The new rules designed to increase scoring, and if anything, you've seen a lot less. So, something for AFL House to think about. I'm probably not going to pull Gill aside and tell them what I think, but maybe some people in the comments can. They've been pretty active today, and we've appreciated that. Always good to get a bit of interaction with the crowd.
Paul Greenwood, a bit of information. Michael Voss's birthday today.
I saw that one before, so very big happy birthday to Vossi. I'm sure you're listening. Vossi, if you want to drop us a comment, tell us where you're listening from.
Let us know how the Bintangs are going down this afternoon as the ball's bounced back into the middle. Smith won it down, but Caldwell got the clearance. It'll bounce there. Bartholomeus was lurking. Handball came out wide. Chance here for the Giants. Bit of respectability back to the scoreboard. Umpire called play on. Shipley kept coming. Came to the boxer. Caldwell snapping around the body and misses.
Could not deliver the knockout punch.
Speaking of simple puns. So the Lions, they'll just bring it in short. Leading possession, get it on the ground. Lions, impressed with his game today. Goes along to Smith, another man who's been impressive and held in that marking contest.
Looked a bit sore there coming up from that, Smith.
Belbasis, the man on his back.
So Archie Smith looking a bit ginger here. He'll get the kick away, but doesn't look to be super comfortable. Kick into the contest, just easy as you like. How simple was that? Madden plays forward. Jimmy the Jet tries to get in the way. Cox, they're off here. Straight out of the races. Tommy Berry just puts the easiest looking chip, but geez, it's been quelled ever so nicely there by Stein. Ben Keys, though, is saying, it's not over yet, Guy. Let's keep this one going. Playing forward and jumping over the top. It's like a fumble in the NFL. The umpire says, that'll be with me.
How good was Steen then? Just the reach. He's a tremendous athlete, as we know. Went to the Commonwealth Games in 2014.
The decathlete.
To stretch and punch away. Here's the boxer Caldwell doing it at both ends. Handball bit wobbly, and the Lions will get the footy back. Came out the way of Cox. Back via hand. Ripping stuff. Brucey Revel from a standing start misses the goals, and it sneaks in for a behind.
So a bit of attacking intent. Stein could have just let that one go. They've got a bit of an imposing margin now, but he's a professional. He made sure he got to that. He's a competitor. Doesn't want to get beaten across the ground. That'll be one of the easier marks Nick Murray's taken today.
Impressed with his game. Been very good. Goals, marks.
Aerial aggression has been exceptional. The first one was a pretty good-looking dribbler as well. Trying to top off Bobby Hill. There goes Matty Eagles, and wow, physicality. Not a problem. Goes laterally. He's got a bit of company here, Louis Taylor, but won't quite get there in time. Lions coming in for a bit of aid. Goes out to Coleman. Coleman sends it long down the side. They've got options inside 50 if they can turn and go. Bit of a chip over the hand, over the top. Wheel and send. Long towards the top. Who's going to come in and fly here? Smith tries to, but out the back they got a chance to run. Murray went by hand. Into a one-on-one here. Iden gets front on position over Starcevic. Very well done.
So it goes short. Bonner, he's got a bit of space so he can go. Can take a bounce if he wanted to. Bonner instead elects to go short. Risky business. Wilson Mudge was there, so Bonner came and gave him a hand because he wasn't happy with the kick. Shipley, one of the better players today for the Giants. As Addison goes back to Iden. He'll transfer play across half-back for GWS. Jimmy Legit Peatling, love watching him run and go. Takes a bounce. Handballs out wide to the decathlete Steen. In a paddock at the moment, bathed in sunshine. They just chip it really nicely up the wing here. Chance here for GWS. And a poor kick is marked by Eagles at half-back for the Lions. Next 3 weeks for the Giants, they've got the Thunder, Aspley and then the Gold Coast as the siren sounds to wrap up round 14 of the NEAFL. A dominant display from the Brisbane Lions this afternoon. 15-14, 104 to 8-7. 55. If you didn't hear the siren the first time, you heard it the second time, Will Jackson. Pretty entertaining game of football. It was arguably lost by the Giants in that first quarter when they conceded 6-1.
It was, and there were some excellent plays of displays of goal kicking, exceptional marks, but all in all, context of the game, it was all come first quarter, it was just a bit too far out of reach, and they just couldn't quite get themselves back in there. So a bit of work to do next week.
So the Lions extend their winning streak in the NEAFL for season 2019 to a 12-0 record. The Giants go to 7-5 through that 49-point Brisbane win. Will Jackson, thanks so much for your time this Sunday afternoon.
Always a pleasure, mate. Looking forward to watching the next AFL game and being with you next week with the NEAFL level.
At the Bisp, Leon behind the camera, outstanding again. It was the Lions keeping their undefeated 2019 season going with a 49-point win. The write-up will be on neafl.com.au a bit later on, so make sure you have a read of that. I'm Eddie Summerfield signing off from Giant Stadium.